Shit, I gotta go to all this furry porn.
That's
Not again.
oddly specific. Also very disturbing. For some people. Not everybody. You know, I'm not gonna kink shame nobody.
No, we definitely should. Some of
No, we
you
should.
have some disgusting kids.
So, hey everybody, I'm Soul Rose.
Judge them.
Welcome back to our continuing game of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We are here with less members than usual due to some vacations. He will be back next week, so Mr. Manic, hope you're having fun out there. See you next week.
Is he back? Yeah or no?
No.
Yeah, he's in a cabin with
The
fucking
third.
fiber optic.
Fiber optic internet and unconscious people. So he's in the murder cabin from like every Saw movie.
Yeah. It's like fall too, so it's perfect.
Perfect. Wait, perfect for murder? But I'm confused.
And horror movie.
Perfect for horror movies. That's a little different. Well, welcome back. And we had a successful, I would say mildly successful run at Monster Hunter yesterday. We did not hunt a Val Hazak, but we hunted other things.
Well, we did hunt him.
He hunted us, I feel like. That's what happened. I told you, he's a fucking pain in the ass for no reason.
Did you guys bro brigade?
We did. We had a successful bro brigade. It almost went poorly. That guy was.
Despite his best efforts, yes.
We did win. We did successfully. So
Yeah.
another happy, satisfied customer who didn't know that he was signing up.
For that service.
Yeah, who didn't know that he signed up for the service. So that was a lot of fun. Check those out. We do those every Monday. So if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah.
What else we got? We're doing a D&D related giveaway. 200 followers or 10 subs. Whichever one comes first. Closer to one than the other. I'll tell you that much right now.
Perpetually.
I mean, yeah, actually, but we're actually pretty close. Not too far away. So, you have to be in chat to win. So if that's something you're interested in.
Show up every day.
To the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, just hang out.
Well, we're only here on Tuesdays, but you can be in the chat if you want to.
Every day, yeah. If you want to.
And Mondays.
We're not telling you how to live.
They're like, where's the giveaway? It's a Thursday.
So if there's any issues with audio or video, just please let us know. Throw it in the chat. We do have access to it, so we will be responding occasionally if available.
Yep.
But yeah. Anything else? Any last minutes? Anything that you guys want to talk about? No, down the line. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and let's run into this thing. Let's run head first into this narrative. Let me get to my
Explosion.
narrative explosion. That sounds exciting. Much more exciting than what I have planned for you. So last time, our intrepid band of adventurers got together, and you guys did a little bit of research, mostly research and information gathering. And during the course of this, you decided to take a quick trip down to the compendium, the one of the largest largest libraries in
Collections of knowledge.
worldwide, actually, not just in general. It's one of the largest collections of knowledge. After having met with the nice dwarven gentleman who escorted you around, he took you through to the maps, something you didn't really need that high of access to get to visit or view. He took you there. You spoke with him briefly. You guys did some quick research, looked into some things, and your attention was drawn to the information leading to something called the Cursed Lands, a collective area within the Cavella Mountains that basically has a long history of being sort of cursed or messed up in a lot of ways, and people that enter don't come out and things like that.
Something very adventurous.
Something very adventure-y. So with that, armed with that information, there was a rather quick collective agreement to scout it out, go check it out, and see what you can see. So you guys ran around town, gathered supplies necessary for the adventure, and then you set off, heading along the Western Farmers Road, banking a little bit north past the town of Tefel, and heading towards the lovely Cursed Lands, and heading deeper into the Orndor Forest and through the Cavella Mountains. We were on day 1 of your journey, I believe.
Yeah.
So, day 1, however, did not end without interest, as you guys had entered the forest and set up camp for the very first time, you discovered a strange occurrence in where the fungus in the area seemed overgrown. So where you'd normally go scavenging for mushrooms for your daily meal, you discovered oversized and very large ones. Being suspicious individuals that you are, you belted one with a rock, and very quickly learned that it was not just a regular fungi, but rather a fungi. It was a fungus creature that immediately started screaming bloody murder,
Which
and then
was, of course, greeted by my
more bloody murder. So you fled towards the camp, alerting Lucrezia. At which point you guys kind of like hid there for a minute, and then found yourself surrounded by 8. I wouldn't even say surrounded. You're more like semicircled by 8 small fungal creatures. And that is where we'll pick it up. So in the dying light of the evening, your fire is going. Your little carts are set up. The griffins are obviously not attached to the cart anymore. The axe beak has been set down to rest, and you're currently hiding amongst your own belongings as you just see all these little frumpy looking, sort of like, almost like shiny, they have like a sort of rubbery sheen to them as they all just walk up. And they're just kind of like standing at the edge of the firelight, just like, and occasionally you get these like collective ugh sounds.
A lot of temperatures just fire.
What you doing, Lucrezia?
I'm researching. Sorry, I was adding the gun to my
Inventory?
stuff and seeing how that affected the Kensar stuff.
Okay.
I think.
I'll lower my head just a little bit more into the cart.
They just kind of stand there.
Hello.
I'm just gonna sit still for.
Everyone's just kind of staring at them. Make a sleight of hand check. Pulling out your weapon. Make a sleight of hand check.
Wait, were you pulling it out? Oh, I thought you were hiding.
Good start. Very first roll of the day goes to
Natural 20.
natural 20.
That's gonna be 23.
As smooth as silk without sound, the blade clears sheath
We're
very
eating
quickly
right now, right?
behind the leg. No one is the wiser.
Okay.
Hmm?
We're eating right now, right?
You were attempting to. They were out exploring.
We are faced with tentative peril.
Okay. Well, then you said something about this thing, right?
Hello, mushrooms.
From this distance, probably about 10 feet or so, in the firelight, they just kind of stand there. It's almost like every wind breeze just kind of like pushes them a little bit, and they're just like,
Shoot. Shoot.
Just try and cut him up and eat him.
No.
Gotta feed the griffins somehow.
Yeah, well, we don't need to eat them. Prepare.
Griffin?
I think they're like that. I think they like mushrooms.
It might be the texture.
Shoot.
they just kind of like move listlessly, but not really like very threateningly.
They're just staring.
I'm just staring. They have these big sort of like blackish eyes that almost look like, empty and hollow, or like every anime ever. They're just like these big eyes that shimmer.
Were they aggressive toward you guys?
I don't know.
Is that why they're here?
Look, it could have exploded. And now it did. It exploded in surprise.
They didn't respond when you said hello. Try some different languages on it. We didn't understand them.
Alright.
I'll say hello in Elven. Elven.
I will say hello in Elven.
We'll say it at the same time.
Hello.
Oh my God.
How
Hello, how
are
are
you
you
doing?
doing?
Oh yeah, hi. How are you doing?
They just all kind of stand there.
All right. What else do you know?
What does that
That's
sound
all I
like?
got.
I'll try some deep speech.
Speak evil fish.
Hola!
You.
Hola, mi amigo.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? They just stand there. They don't seem to respond.
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
That's more your speech.
Just that much. I know where the bathroom is. And where the library is? Something about a biblioteca. I'm gonna take my staff bird also.
Okay.
Point it behind him
Okay.
and do an eagle screech.
Like like
Yeah.
like this heavy caw of an eagle. As you kind of like point it at, you see them kind of like take a couple steps back. There's a couple little of the ground as you point the staff out at them, and then when the screech comes up, you just hear this collective sort of. They just start running into each other, and they begin like falling over. Some of them scramble and begin like running back towards the woods, and ultimately their formation breaks and they retreat into the woods.
Like, for a second, I was like, take advantage!
Oh my god, you monster!
Seize them! I didn't.
Seize the
That was
opportunity.
an Andy thought of all lot.
But yeah, they scramble, they bump into each other, and then they go scrambling back into the wood line, or the woods away from you.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like vegetables. I can speak.
Do they speak?
They went boo.
And
Pretty sure that's
and-
language.
I don't, that doesn't sound though. That's not how they speak.
Well, I mean, you know, dogs bark.
No vegetables make sense. Got it.
I would beg to differ.
No, I mean, instead of speak. I wonder what it's
Are they vegetables? I'm always confused with that.
Are they like the goons?
No, legumes is a bean.
Peanuts not a bean.
It's a sick bean.
Well, whatever.
Put the old scimitar away, and then what are you guys doing?
Chill.
Well, we don't have food, so I guess we're eating rations.
Yeah.
Food? Don't you have food?
Yeah, we have rations.
We went out to look for food, found no food.
Oh, that's right.
That somebody didn't want us to eat.
Yeah. So you guys can find food?
I mean, technically we did, Lou. We just ran back into the woods, though.
Rations it is.
Alright.
You know, I will take the title of mushroom scarer. That's fine.
There you go.
+1 to fungal fear. Alright, well, you guys eat. I'll keep an eye out for these things.
For these things. And other things?
Well, all things, yes.
All things.
Specifically, at the
Walking
moment,
mushrooms?
I'm concerned.
Well, what if they have like a culture and they have like wizards?
Isn't that what you call the growing mushrooms a culture?
Yeah. Or is it a colony?
I have no idea. I'm not an expert.
I don't know. Maybe come on.
Good pun. Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Alright.
Ha.
Are you setting up tents and stuff? Or not?
Yes.
Or a tent, I guess? You buy them?
Well, I bought a new feathered pillow, so I'm gonna use that.
Okay. Important things.
And
I don't know.
very easily fit on.
Should I go set the hunting trap up or something?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'll go do that.
I
Where are you
would
setting up at?
Probably do it in the way that it came, just in case something else comes by.
Wherever it's I
Us.
don't know.
Okay.
Mine as well.
2 for the price of 1.
Also, while you're out there, if you can find supplies, you can make a rudimentary lathe. Could really use one.
A what?
Nope. You go ahead and put out the 2 hunting traps on the trail leading into where you guys are.
Yes.
Are you
Or
camouflaging?
wherever we sorted the mushrooms, right?
At least one of them.
Okay.
Just in case they
Yeah.
come back or if something comes in.
I won't be
from wherever
sneaky
they-
though. Quiet.
The drugs.
Oh,
and then it
stop.
starts screeching. Oh man, this is gonna be a good
I'm gonna
night.
be sad. They don't have feed
I
stock.
will probably
Oh yeah.
be terrified. If You hear a fucking mushroom banshee shriek in the night?
I picture they just have like breathing holes so their mouth stretches like that, so it's just.
Gross.
And then if they're screaming hard enough, the shit might just.
Do you want me to sneak quietly?
If you want to try, I don't.
Want to sneak
Do
quietly?
you want to sneak
I
quietly?
said
DM,
specifically.
All right, go ahead and make stealth check.
DM, should I sneak quietly?
Can I borrow your input of
A bullseye.
Yeah. Is that the same thing?
No. Yeah.
They,
Can it be like dim light?
they done did make light.
No, it's cone. It's like flashlight. Homemade.
Did we get a hundred this year? I think Beta has one.
He also has a velvet.
And also disappearance.
Can I put like something over it to like kind of block it?
Yeah, well, it's a door, so it's like a lantern, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can close the lantern and get like a cone of light.
Well, I just don't want to make a lot of light.
Do you have an extra shirt?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Is put some other cloth over it. I do that, and then I go.
Okay, go ahead and make stealth check. At disadvantage because you're holding a flashlight.
Tim, can you see in the dark?
No.
That is a
Oh.
16.
16. Yep. You slink a little bit. You kind of carefully maneuver your way up ahead a bit and try
But
to
if I set
gauge
fire
where
on
the
fire,
little spore gentlemen have gone, and then you set out the two traps in areas you believe where things might use as a pathway.
And I will come back.
Are you concealing them in any meaningful way, or are you just putting them on the ground? Ha
Ooh, almost big.
Cover it up.
ha! So you cover it up a little bit, conceal it a bit, and then you head back to
Don't
your
pat
group.
it.
Pat, snap.
Huh.
Pat, pat, oops.
I don't have my finger.
I always wanted a hook.
For a hand.
Okay. Do I have to do another stealthy check back or?
Same one counts. So you return back to camp after a moment or two. The rest of your group watches you do so with the flashlight, because it's a flashlight in the dark. It's just like bobbing up
do
and
we all
down.
need to stay up with the griffins and let the griffins kind of like respond to any sound?
Ghost thing, we'll do shifts as we do.
What do we need to do?
As you are wont to do.
Won't they make sound?
And what if it's like a human though?
Maybe. They might make
Would
sound.
your griffins attack them or?
Probably. Right? I feel like
Yeah, they're gonna self-preserve, which means if the threat is coming towards the group or them, they're gonna make sounds.
Oh,
I think we should. On the off chance they may notice something, or
is the tent set up?
they may pull a beam and just like
I don't think so. They're
so.
like wild animals. He's the least wild of animals.
It's
Is
pretty-
he over there?
It's
No.
pretty rough and rowdy. Anyway, I think
He's his own ass.
I think we should do shifts.
Okay. Is the tent set up? Do you guys see that loud enough?
Yeah.
He shook his head. It's good sesh, guys. Good teamwork.
I don't have.
Good teamwork.
You have a tent, don't you?
I do have a tent.
Okay. Could you have been setting it? What were you guys doing while I was gone
I
then?
was talking and watching mushrooms.
Definitely.
He was.
It's a clear
Alright,
night.
well, let's set the tent up.
We'll start setting the tent up.
Now.
Sure, you guys set the tent up. We'll say you
And
set the tent up,
I'll take first watch.
eat some food,
Watching.
take some watch.
I don't want to watch.
All right.
Okay,
Eat some watch, take some.
go ahead and make a perception check for the evening.
That's why I don't.
16.
Why?
Okay.
I spent
Um,
money on the next week.
Hanging out for the evening as you're
Oh,
sitting there waiting, looking around.
what doesn't? Oh, you didn't take me to the bowl. That's right.
No. Normal sounds of the forest, crickets and the like, the wind through the trees. It's actually kind of peaceful. Air is clear. It's nice. It's getting cooler out. Just as the night progresses, it just kind of gets a little bit chillier. But ultimately, your watch comes to an end. You go and rouse the next person, and take off to go to sleep. So whoever's next, go ahead and roll.
That was a 14.
14. You're woken rather ceremoniously. Unceremoniously. You're woken up, roused from your slumber, at which point you kind of get up a little groggy, you stretch. There's a little bit of a conversion between the two of you about fucking nothing's going on. It's pretty chill.
It almost has the floor. It's a little tricky.
It's a little chilly out. You wake up, you're like, oh, okay. Yep, on the inside there. You stretch. Fire's kind of dying down, so you just kind of like stoke it back up, and then your watch goes uneventful. It's actually kind of nice out to sort of hanging out. Occasionally you find yourself doing this, and you're just like,
Oh.
yep. Especially after like long periods of nothing happening, you're just like, oh, well. Boop.
Nice.
But ultimately your rest comes to an end, or your cycle comes to an end, and you wake up the third compatriot
No.
for the evening.
Not waking. Not doing it. We got griffins. I'm going to sleep.
Okay. Rouse her up. Alright. Pass out.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Okay. Morning comes.
Griffins are dead.
They're gone. There's a hole in our tent.
I don't know why I imagined a rooster crowing, and it's like, where the fuck is that
It's
coming
the
from?
fucking griffins.
No, it's an axe beak.
Right? That's just screaming.
You like roll
Over here.
over on your staff wrong. Your bird call staff. Yeah.
Checking to see if rooster's on there.
Well, it has a chicken's cluck.
That's not as fun.
Welcome to Dungeons and Birds.
Dungeons and bird calls.
Bird cost. But the morning comes, sun kind of crests over the trees, begins shining through, and the first thing kind of like, wakes you up. Roll out of your respective bedrolls. Ground's kind of cold.
Somebody's probably company.
It's a cool morning. The griffins are still kind of like chilling, kind of like out, not really paying attention. The axe beak's like his little hen pose, just out. Seems nice. The morning's pretty silent.
I want to go check the traps.
You take a couple
Please don't let a mushroom be in there.
take a couple steps out, and you find the traps are untouched.
Okay.
You just have a little nub of a foot.
No.
A little mushroom nub.
Yeah, it's actually just like a mushroom cap now. I come back. Should I leave him there till we leave?
We're leaving.
Oh, we're leaving now.
Well, we're gonna feed the animals.
Oh, I go back with the traps then.
Okay, so you just head out there and go collect them up. Take a stick and pop them.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys, as you're breaking down, you just hear these like loud metallic, chink! And then after a little bit, you just hear a chink!
Yeah.
Followed by a victory noise.
Cool, cool.
Oh, shit. I clicked on the wrong thing. Alright, so you guys break down camp and begin gathering everything together before exiting and following the path. Who wants to make the navigation checks for the journey? Did you guys make any sort of map as a reference or anything like that?
I can do a little bit. I don't think that counts. So. I did that. I have paper and maybe I did that.
Did you?
I mean,
Did you
I
make
did
a
it
note of it?
here. Maybe I did it in there.
So I'm going to say no. If no one has, if anyone has, no one has anything. So, who wants to be leading the expedition?
I will make an attempt.
Okay, go ahead and make a history check.
Could have gone better. 8.
Northwest.
Okay, 8. You do know that you need to be heading northwest. That's correct. No, things are hard. Who wants to make a survival check? Go ahead.
What's yours?
Especially with that. 24?
24. Yeah, so as you kind of get in the morning and you kind of like snack on some tack and some other food stores, you toss the griffins their part of their meal, and I'll assume throughout the day you obviously feed them their requisite food stuffs. But yeah, you get everything hitched back up, axe beak back on there, get back on the cart, and you begin heading back towards the in the correct direction as best you can determine.
There's a candle. I could take that.
Just a single candle.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to do specifically during day 2 of your journey? Nope.
We are still in the phases of training our griffins to be ridden.
Yeah.
Correct.
While they're doing that shit, if we're taking a break, I'm going to forage.
Forage for food at some point during the day? Okay, go ahead and make a survival check.
We'll also do that as well. We do that at advantage.
Oh, are we going back to that whole, this other thing?
Yeah, it's right here.
The traveling activities?
Traveling.
But now we have griffins to take.
While he's looking for food out of Southwest, right? I would actually like to attempt to forage
18.
for the griffins.
You are navigating, sir.
Disregard.
So you cannot.
Lou,
What?
go find some food for griffins.
You are foraging.
We didn't-
What was the number?
18.
Well, we've only got 10 days.
18. Yeah, easy enough. You're able to, as you
9.
begin making your way through the underbrush, you do manage to find smaller mushrooms, edible mushrooms, nuts, berries, enough for you and the group to sustain themselves for
About training, though.
the
Are we treating?
Yes,
Just have a backpack full of nuts.
but
Yeah.
we will also need to find food for them because we've only got 10 days of rations for them.
But did we already train them back?
To ride?
Good luck looking for
Yes.
animals.
Wow.
All I've been able to find is fruit, nuts, and mushrooms.
Birds eat fruits, nuts, and mushrooms, probably.
Well, usually the big ones, like your bird cat things, they usually eat meat.
May have to introduce them
Well, maybe we should just go. Vegetarians. Maybe we should just go, like, give them what we have for now and then go further and see if we can find more as we go.
to. Well, I mean, yeah, we're going to have to because eventually we're going to run out of food for them.
Yes.
Well, also we're making a lot of noise with this cart.
Alright.
And my axe beak keeps going as we go. So,
What?
so I don't think that's helping our case.
Excellent.
Jumps out.
Hey-oh!
Go
Jump
back
out
to
the
the
window.
freeze sphere. Alright.
You weren't even in there.
No. But Tiffany's going back in there. Alright, so what do we want to do?
Anything else? So we got navigating, foraging, and what are you doing?
You could draw a map.
I was just thinking that. I'll draw a map.
Alright, so we don't
It doesn't
actively,
require a check, and
We
I've
don't-
got paper.
we don't actively need to train the griffins. It's just understood as we're going.
It's assuming that as you're going,
Are we
you're
gonna be
doing
doing
it.
like every single day?
You're gonna have to be doing it.
No,
Well,
I mean like, is that what this is gonna be today? Like every single.
no.
Okay.
I'm gonna be skipping ahead and shit like that.
Excellent. Okay.
Pertinent shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so I know. Okay.
Oh, the whole plan is done. It's all done.
Don't say it so ominous. All right.
Say what you want.
I'm
Just
using
you
a
wait.
sheet of paper,
I need an overwhelming
Because I bought
surplus of ominous.
and I'm gonna draw a map so we don't get lost.
Okay, you're gonna use paper to do that?
I'm gonna record the group's progress.
Okay. So, you begin drawing a map.
Oh.
All right.
Oh. What?
Square.
Can I
This way.
see if there's any evidence of lizard people this way? During the day at some point?
No. It's 2 different activities that you're gonna be participating in.
Does drawing a map take a day?
It's gonna be your travel activity.
We're going to be traveling.
While you're traveling, it's gonna be your activity.
The whole time?
For
Yeah.
today,
Oh, for today.
not for the whole time that you're doing it. So, day 2 ends relatively uneventfully. However, as you guys are winding down and settling in, Tam is running out, grabbing food and everything, and when he returns to the cart and begins settling down, he sees that you are currently trying to like steer the cart, and okay, you know, you're looking up and stuff like that. And it's what's everyone's passive perception, please?
13.
12.
12.
Okay. You all kind of hear it at once. You hear this sort of like you notice that the insects, that slow under of crickets and stuff begins to kind of pick up, almost like you get that annoying like high pitched whine of cicadas, And soon it begins to kind of like drown out. It's like it's just getting overwhelmingly loud. And then next thing you know, you begin to hear another faint buzzing sound
It's a giant cicada.
that begins to get louder and louder
It's a weed drum.
and louder. And it continues as you approach. And as who is the highest? Passive. As you're sitting there and you're like, wow, it's kind of like you're talking and you're just kind of like doing your thing, but you're like, wow, it's getting kind of annoying. You look straight up and you just see a hornet's nest that's taken up the top segment of a tree, and the things that are crawling out of it are massive in size wasps that begin to kind of like, they like look down at you almost as you're looking up,
See you in hell? Tell them who sent you.
and then you begin to hear as they begin to kind of fly downwards towards
Oh,
you.
that's gonna sting.
Oh, incoming.
That was so.
I need everybody to roll initiative. Alright, let me go ahead and I'm going to disappear off camera for a second.
This is actual hell.
This is actual. Alright, let me get these up.
Do you want me, since I'm by myself, to tell you what number I'm rolling? Like, what's on the dice and then what it is beyond?
Just throw the dice at
Just tell me what the numbers
Okay.
turn out to be. Is this enough? 1, 2.
What time of day is it?
Let me
Battle
think.
time.
It's becoming, it's about to start transitioning into twilight.
Fire.
So there, we're like, you can see.
Yeah, you can still see. It's like dim, or like twilight, almost, you know? The sun's going down, but it's not done. Alright, let's go ahead and get everybody out here.
No sweat. It's nighttime.
Can you grab this, please? Cute. Go ahead and get out everybody's characters. Who's ready for some level 5 action?
Fun.
Finally.
After this fight,
After this fight.
Maybe.
Alright.
as long as I get 100 points.
He's like, oh, they're 24.
You don't have a TAM in yet, do you? Okay.
He's a little guy.
Should we use the same one, or is that too soon?
That's fine.
Okay. I'll leave it up to you.
He'll be fighting in the same stance anyway.
Do you have a Lucrezia one?
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta finish painting it.
That's okay.
Alright. So, as you... Do I need anything to... No, I don't think it's important. But here. Griffins.
Oh. Food.
Oh, shit.
You know the videos of like
Oh, shit,
dogs.
his arm
eating
fell off.
monkeys?
Who?
He's a one-armed man.
Oh, I
How'd
did
that happen?
I don't know, because they've just been sitting, chilling.
Oh no, we pickaxe his tail.
Yeah.
Ginger, hey, you want axe beak? This will be axe beak for now. This is good. That makes me really angry that like, if you fucking like throw this around or anything, how the fuck?
It's fallen on shore.
Alright, so Griffins are going to be trailing behind.
Yeah, I have a
There.
wood to fix that.
Okay. Griffins are behind. Axebeak is obviously in front. Let's see. I'm not gonna put it there. I'm
Do
gonna
we
put it
have a smoke bomb?
What?
Do we have a smoke bomb?
Smell.
I mean, I can see
Ooh,
pretty
goodness.
well right now.
I need that Spiros from the
All right. So as you by the time you notice it, it becomes a little bit too late as you begin to see them swarm out from the center of this massive, disgusting sort of hive.
And it's just a high pitch.
Maybe.
They begin descending descending down upon you. I need everyone to roll initiative. I'm assuming everybody did.
I did.
Let me roll initiative for the enemies. Nope.
They're nothing but
Ooh.
savages.
Those are the wasps.
Savages. Alright, 25 to 20.
21.
Lucrezia, 21.
Yes. I've done that 4 times, but I'm still not sure. But yes.
You did the math 4 times and you're still not sure.
Because I doubt my math skills when Ben's not here.
Okay, just add 2 numbers together.
It's hard.
Alright, well, phrasing.
What was,
15 to 20.
16 plus 5.
that's 21.
No? Okay. 10 to 15. 12. I'm on with a solid 12.
Your numbers are inverted from 9.
Nice.
9. Okay.
Or something.
9, and the enemies
There was
are
a lot
one.
of- there was a lot of screaming before I decided to ask questions.
Oh,
Fair enough.
God. Slowly.
Okay,
scooting back and
so,
forth.
Nightmare creatures. There's mushrooms and outfit giant.
Almost as big as you, bro.
as you see these things begin swarming down, you notice that they begin to sort of agitate the local bugs, and they begin to swarm up into swarms of insects that just begin kind of like running around rampantly. So if you look on the map here, the 3 baubles, those are going to be
Big ones?
those are giant insects, and the other one are the giant wasps.
Cover that.
You're in like the fucking nightmare lands right now, boys. So, with that being said, top of the round is Lucrezia.
Okay. I'm going to take out the. How far away are they from the circle?
Just look at the map. It's to scale,
Oh,
5 feet
okay.
per square. The wasps are currently in a clump because they haven't spread out yet, so they're all nearby.
Okay. Oh no. Oh. Great. Is that 20 or 25? He's in the middle.
Then we'll round down. 20 is fine.
So if I shoot the pistol, it'll be at disadvantage? Because it's not. It's like 30 to 90 feet.
Wait,
What?
is it 30/90?
Yeah.
If it's under 30, it means normal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've
As long
never
as it's-
shot a thing before.
As long as it's over 10 and under 30.
I would like to try to shoot that guy then.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
Okay.
Savages.
12.
12 hits. Go
Oh,
ahead and roll
okay.
damage. What are you shooting at?
This one.
Yeah.
Is it the swarm of insects?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, still hits.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh wait. Well.
Quiet you.
Okay. So attack roll for each creature on a hit. Each target takes 2d4 damage instead of the original d10.
That's if you're choosing to do that ability instead of attack normally.
No, I'll do it.
Okay, so then it's just the one guy.
Okay. 5. But then I want to do my thing where I can use a bonus action to add a d4 to that too.
Okay.
Okay. 7.
7 plus dex mod?
Oh. 12.
12. So, as you see her kind of like pull it out excitedly, then she like kind of like looks at it and she's like, "Oh right, it's okay." Kind of begins messing with it a little bit, and she looks at it and then she like lines it up and this loud thunderous explosion as you see the flint hit the steel, and then you hear the sizzle before.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
And it fires out. I would say that you're the only one who actually has experience with these as like Maw is quite familiar with them from war. You would have learned about them from different things, but you've probably actually seen them in action. So you didn't expect it, but you're like, oh fuck, I forgot that was really loud.
Mop!
But you see the round fire off into the swarm that kind of scatters for a minute and then formulates back together.
One single.
I can
There's
use
just
that-
one big fucking June bug.
Oh wait, that one's dead?
No, it's still alive.
A single bug.
I'll
on this
use my
one.
extra attack then, and I'll shoot it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 18 plus 5.
Hits.
Alright, and then 10. Ooh, that's low. 7.
7 damage.
Yeah. Oh, plus dex.
12 damage.
No. Sorry. 7 damage. I already added my dex and I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't hit anything in a while since I've been playing.
I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
So as you watch, she begins reloading, and then begins to, and then yeah, you prep yourself. She brings it back, and then secondary explosion rockets off, and then passes right through. You notice they just scatter for a minute and then regroup. It doesn't seem to be having as much of an effect as you'd like, due to the nature of there's just a bunch of bugs in a small area that you're shooting. Is that the end of your turn? All right. Next up is the enemy's turn. It is the swarm of bugs' turn.
Pointed at me, thought maybe we were lucky.
Oh.
That's what
Not so much. Okay, so that same swarm of insects that you're firing at Lucrezia is going to start. Is going to maneuver over to you, start menacing you.
Buzz, buzz, buzz,
Don't
motherfucker.
ask me. Okay.
You guys are being pests.
So,
Not Rupert. He should actually be good at this. Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
this one's actually going to stay here for now. So the first one is going after you, Lucrezia.
Okay.
Who?
I probably deserve that.
Oh, actually, you know what? The last one's going to come after Maw.
Okay, I'm on.
Change my mind.
Driving.
Listen,
What's your AC?
17.
That is exactly 17, 14 plus 3
Okay.
to hit. It does have less than half its health,
Is
so
it
it deals.
biting at me?
It is.
Okay. Not everything.
It's in your hand.
You take 5 points of piercing damage as it just begins to swarm and bite and claw, and you get them kind of like crawling into your collar, and you're getting little stings, and you're just like swatting panicked. The second one is going to be at you, sir. That is a 15.
Does not hit.
15. So as they begin swarming on you, just instinctively like, just kind of like get out of the way as they just begin kind of like buzzing around. The third one encapsulates you, Maw, and that is going to be, that's a 15 again to hit. As it also begins, you just kind of like let go of the reins and begin kind of like stepping away from the swarm of monstrosities. It is your turn, Maw.
Alright. Howdy. Tell you what, those guys coming at me, I'm gonna short sword them.
Okay?
And
Short sword the shit out of them.
Short sword them, and follow that up with bonus action, punch buckler.
Okay, go ahead and
That's gonna be a 19 plus 6.
hits.
Yeah.
25.
6 plus 3 is 9.
Okay. Second attack.
Second attack is fucking 4 plus 4, 8.
Misses, unfortunately.
Wow.
So, as you begin slashing, kind of panicked through the onslaught of insects that surrounds you, and then you swing out just as like the couple swings of your scimitar go around. You see them kind of like scattering a couple, like you can hear a couple like solid hits, like a fly swatter. However, they just seem to scatter, and then you punch outwards, and you notice that they've kind of like made a hole, and then they just begin swarming around you again. That is the end of their turn, or of your turn. I'm sorry. It is now the wasp's turn.
Oh, you know what?
Let's see.
I probably would have been trying to shoot the wasp. I didn't realize that I'm supposed to once.
That was a lot of money I'm about to lose.
Are you gonna pay them off? What do you do? What do you mean?
No, Axbeak is in front and there's 2 wasps by him.
He's fine.
I think he actually has a decent amount of health, doesn't he?
He has 19.
19. All right. So the wasps are gonna go ahead and make their attacks. Let me pull up their
Damn it.
stats real quick. You forgot there was scary wasps on
I
here?
thought that the blobs were the scary wasp. That's why I was shooting at it. I didn't even realize it until after you're like, oh, it's separating with what the. That's not what I wanted to do, but that's what I did.
Is it weird that giant wasps are literally on my nightmare list of things that I think would be fucking god awful?
That's right.
Fuck yeah. Well, have you ever seen there's a meme somebody put out, it's like some guy talking to a honeybee, he's like, oh, hey honeybee,
Yes.
here, have this flower.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
Worker
I've seen
bee,
that.
honeybee, bumblebee.
So to the axe beak, those attacks are not going to hit, but just to be sure, it's 7 and a natural 1. So
No.
okay, so neither of those hit.
His AC is 11.
The next one is going to be at Maw. That is 9, or no, sorry, 10. Next one is going to be at Tam. That is 12 plus 4, 16 total.
Nice.
Hits. All right, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Lord.
Is this against poison?
It sure is, sir.
Okay, I have advantages.
Oh,
That's
good.
good.
I'm gonna add.
Okay.
Okay, that is con.
Yep.
That is a 20.
Yeah, oh yeah, that passes. So you take 3 points of piercing damage, and you're gonna take half for poison. So
I should use this one.
you take 3 points of poison damage, which I think you have, right?
Yeah.
Because of your
So it's a 2.
It's too late.
yeah. So you take
So I got 3 to. So
No, you-
5.
that might not
3 is rounded down. Everything's rounded down for players, so it's 1 damage.
For poison, so that's.
Well, if they
4
have
damage.
blind sight,
Correct.
or their wings clear the smoke.
Let's
It's a
see.
fucking thing, you know?
They are effing big. You were correct, sir.
I said fuck.
That is it for them. That's all they're going to be doing for this round. So, next up is Tam. You're up, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna take out Marvelius, my
Mm-hmm.
short sword.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
Is that the thing that
just like I was doing on the docks, and just nobody move, please. And I'm gonna close my eyes and just.
What? All right. Go ahead and make your, are you attacking the swarm or the giant wasp?
The giant wasp.
Okay. Go ahead.
And first. First one is a natural 1
That
Oh.
misses.
with Marvelius. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, you're a half.
Oh man, I wish I had remembered that as Tinsley. There's so many times I rolled ones.
It's a 9.
Plus, total
Hey,
Total.
just misses.
hey,
dude.
that's not cutting the card in half.
Or us, because we're really close to them.
And then short sword is 16.
16 hits. Go ahead and roll damage on that one.
I am going to use my
Ooh. Sorry about
my
that.
sweeping attack.
Okay.
So I sweep through the wasp and hit this one.
Okay.
The wasp takes 7 damage, and the swarm takes 2.
Okay.
And I am down 1.
The swarm that attacked you. Which one is that one? Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. Takes 2. All right. So you bring Marvelius around, and there's a brief moment where you feel like, oh wait, this is not the right arc that I want, and then you correct it just before you cut the top of the cart seat off. But doing that correction caused you to miss the giant wasp, and then you bring the short sword around and sweep with it to stab not only the wasp right in the center, like abdomen, cutting its lower half almost off entirely, as you just see it like open up and that greenish sort of goo come out, and then you swing into the swarm and a couple little like dink dink hits. All right, top of the round, it is Lucrezia.
Okay. I'm gonna. Has anybody gotten hit by the swarm? I got hit by the swarm, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They bit you, burrowed into your ears like eggs.
Okay. So I'm gonna go for the wasp since I don't know what they do.
They stabbed the fuck out of you with their asses.
Which one?
That.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
12.
12 hits.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage. Are you marking your ammunition down as well?
I don't know how.
You need to count. You only have 20 rounds, so divide
You're
that.
at 18.
So you're at 18.
Well, no, 13.
Because I have the
This-
35 power
17.
horn, so I don't know.
Powder horn is only for reloads.
Okay.
The bullet is the shot. You should have 20 shot.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna write that. So I have 20 to begin with?
Correct. That's what you started.
17 because you fired twice and then this one.
Yeah, this is going to be the
Okay.
third shot.
8.
8
Yes.
damage
Mm-hmm.
total.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. You fire into it, and you watch the lower abdomen, like the little by the stinger, just explode off. No, it's still floating.
then I'll shoot it again.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
That's fine. Same thing. 7 plus 5. So,
12
12, yeah.
hits.
Okay. And then, okay. 9. And then I'm going to do the bonus thing, which is 54.
Okay.
That's a 1.
How much total?
9, 10 total.
10 damage total.
Yes.
The second shot, as you begin to reload, you pour the shot down in there, pour the powder on. You can kind of like tamping everything down, and then you secondary explosion blows the top of the thing's head clean off, and you see it like a little zero just hit the dirt. It is dead.
Ew. Bug juice everywhere.
It is dead.
I like that show.
You like Torn?
Bug juice?
Bug Juice. It was like this like teen camp on Disney Channel. It wasn't dirty. It was cool.
Uh-huh.
All right, next up is the enemy's turn. It is the swarm's turn.
They're crazy. Yeah.
They are going to swing into same targets as before. So first up is you. Keeps happening. 13 plus 3 is 16.
Nope.
16 does not hit. Second swarm is at you, sir. 14 plus 3, 17. Hits. Which swarm is that? It's this one. Okay.
Bye.
3. It's going to be 10 total. 10 points of piercing damage. And the last one's at you, sir. 10 plus 4, or plus 3 is 13. Does not hit. As it sinks and begins swarming around you, it just doesn't seem to be able to penetrate the armor as the swarm just starts latching on. That is the end of its
How's it
turn.
living?
Maw, you're up.
Alright,
Oh yeah.
Alright, so for the sake of visualization, if I did constrict on a swarm, would it be 1,000 little?
It can't be restrained.
Alright,
Do not bite me. Eat them.
I'm not gonna do that. I am gonna attack the swarm again though.
Okay.
Short sword with my combos.
Okay.
Alright, so short sword is 10 plus 6 for 16.
Hits.
For a total of 7 damage.
Okay.
And the punch buckler is another funny. 10.
10 misses. 10 just misses. Okay. That is the end of your turn. It is now the giant waspy turns. And we're going to have 2 at the axe beak again.
Oh, poor axe.
I'm working on it.
Just throw it on the ground. I can't see it.
That is a 13.
That hits.
Okay. And he takes. You need to make a Constitution saving throw. Second one is a 6 to him, so it's not going to hit.
Natural 20.
Damn!
Natural 20, so he takes half damage from the poison. Is going to be. Alright, so the poison is going to be. He takes 5 points of poison damage and 1 point of piercing damage. As you see the first one try to kind of latches onto it, it begins kind of thrashing around trying to fight against the restraints of the cart, and it can't seem to. The cart begins to kind of shake a bit as it begins panicking. The first one swings in and gets a solid sting in, and the second one that's trying to land on it just can't seem to get purchase. It's just kind of hovering around the outside of it. That is the... Oh, shit. We're going for... Next up is you, sir. That is a natural 20.
Oh.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Doesn't hit. 18.
18 succeeds. So it's going to be 6 points of piercing damage,
Mm-hmm.
and then... And it's 7 points of poison damage.
Total or
No, that was halved. He rolled a natural 20, so it doubled.
Oh.
As that stabs into you. Next one is going to be at Tam.
Oh, that's a thing.
That is a 15.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. And then the last one is to you, correct? Or no? It's going to move over there to you.
The wasp is?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a natural 17. Plus
Yep.
4, I believe. So that hits. Constitution saving throw.
21.
13. Oh no, 12.
12. Let's see if that passes. Pretty sure it does, actually. It does.
This is actually one of my nightmares.
So it's 5 points of piercing damage, and then you're going to take half damage from the poison.
That suck.
5,
You
wow.
know when people
You
like
take
bugs that
2
are
points of
bad
poison
bugs
damage from the
and
poison.
So 14 total. You said 12 points of piercing damage?
No.
Oh, I think you said 12 points of piercing damage.
No, it was 4 points of piercing
Oh,
damage and
12 points of poison.
2 points of poison damage. Yeah, half. So 2 points of poison damage. I roll really well on everybody. Except you right now.
Goddamn natural 20.
Okay. That is the end of their turn. It is your turn, sir.
Once again, I'm gonna.
Quickity whap whap.
Yep.
You going after the swarm first?
Yeah, the swarm this time.
Okay.
Because it took 10 health. That is going to be a 7.
7 misses, unfortunately.
And then the other one is going to be a 18.
That hits you. Go ahead and roll damage.
And I'm going to do sweep once again
Okay. To go into the.
into the wasp.
Okay.
So the swarm gets 5 and the wasp gets 4 damages.
Ooh, nice. Okay. 20. Math is hard. Okay, we're good. I figured it out.
Well, just tell me the total health and I'll help you.
21.
Damn.
Because it's gonna help you. Oh.
So, as you swing into the swarm the first time, it just kind of like swings around the outside of your hand. You take the short sword, you stab into it, and then swing to the side. Jutting in, you can hear a couple little faint sounds, but then taking the opportunity to take the secondary swing just kind of takes the top half of the wasp off, and it just splits in half and just sprays goo all over the side of the cart and just on the ground. That one is gone. All right, next up is Lucrezia.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would it be an action to take out a torch and light it? Okay.
Yes, it would.
So take out like an evil turn, pretty much.
It'd be your action, yeah. You wouldn't be able to attack.
Okay. I'll do that though.
Okay.
Work on my-
Okay. What are you using it for?
I want to do that at the swarm.
Okay. All right. You just pull it out. That's your action though.
Bonus action?
Okay.
How far away is that bee?
In your shit.
Which one? The one that's right next to you? It's 5 feet.
Yeah.
What about it?
How far away?
5 feet.
2 feet? Okay. I want to punch the bee.
You can't make an attack
Bonus
since you.
action? Oh,
No.
because I didn't do it at
Because you didn't
okay.
take. You didn't
Okay.
attack as your action.
That's it. Oh, can I do a key point? Because
Doesn't it say it has to be part of your?
Yeah,
If you take the.
That requires an attack as a main action.
Yeah.
Next turn, you can hit it with your torch and then kick it twice.
Okay. You can go on.
Okay. Next up is the enemy's turn. So the swarm is going to go after in order again. 1, 2, and then 3.
Balls.
Swarm for you, sir, is 16.
For me,
Yes.
it is not connecting.
Okay. Second one is to you, Tim. 8 plus 3 is 12. Okay. Third one is to you. 8.
It just says you can spend a key point to take the dodge action. The other one says as part of your attack action.
Okay. You can use a key point to dodge if you want to.
Okay. Then yes.
I just meant that you couldn't do your attack.
No, yeah, I know. I know the deal with that.
Okay. Well, it's a disadvantage. I rolled really poorly anyway. That's good. Second roll is a 20. Wouldn't have mattered because it already rolled an 8. So, as the swarms just begin they're just harassing you just all around. There's a lot of, get it off me. That is now Maw's turn.
Alright.
Nah, I just feel itchy.
Taking
Right.
the swarm
I
out.
get it.
Taking the swarm out, man.
Okay.
Sword.
The one that's menacing you?
Yes, that is a 17 hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Sweet. 9 damage.
Okay.
And still standing.
Yes.
Punch buckler is probably another miss. 12.
That hits.
3 damage.
Okay. The second one, as you go to swing outwards, you just see it kind of scatter, and then you just notice that it doesn't seem to form back
I
up.
killed the queen!
It does
Nice.
not seem to gather itself back together.
Oh my god, they punched Randy! We gotta get the fuck out of here.
The dog was not happy with that thing dying.
Oh, his hair is up.
All right, next up is the giant wasp's turn.
The wispy wasp.
The wispy wasps. So we're gonna go there. You killed the one that's next to you. All right, so it's gonna be 2 to the Axebeak, 2 to Maw, and then 1 to Lucrezia. So Axebeak is going to be 8 and natural 20.
Poor Axby. Oh man.
That's really bad. Okay, what is Constitution saving throw, please?
Another natural 20.
Nice!
That was strong as Axby.
So it's going to take 8 points of piercing damage. And then it's going to half the poison at, because it would be doubled, so no point in doubling it. 10 points of poison damage total.
Okay, he has dropped.
He is he is unconscious. Okay, so it drops unconscious. It is at 0. He's gonna have to make. Yes, he's gonna have to make saves for it. All right, so the next 2 are at Maw. That's a 6, and that is a 22.
22 hits.
Need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please?
18.
You take 4 points of piercing damage, and then the 18 passes, so you're going to take half damage on the poison. 6 points of poison damage. This thing has no chill. It either goes really high or really low. There's no middle. So, good? Okay. Next up is Lucrezia. It's going after you. Natural 1. Okay. So it tries to sting at you and it just can't seem to do it.
I do have disarm.
Take its arms off.
Little stinger.
Alright, that is the end of their turn. It is now Tam's turn.
Alright, I'm going to do
Damn the believer.
both attacks to the swarm.
Okay, go ahead.
Or actually, no, I'm just going to do one.
Okay.
To the swarm. Let's hope that actually hits. That is a 12.
That hits.
Awesome.
Go ahead and roll the damages.
Alright, I'm going to do sweep one more time. I have one more superiority die left
Okay.
after this. So the swarm takes 8
Okay.
points of damage, and the wasp adjacent to it, that one,
Okay.
takes a full 8 damage.
8. Nice.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to second wind and regain some hit points.
Okay, how much was to the swarm again?
The swarm was 8,
8.
and then another full 8 to the wasp.
Okay. Got it. So you swing into both. Marvellius just kind of like cleaves through the air. You don't even feel any resistance as you swing. You're not really sure if you've connected, but you just see little pops of blood. That is the end of your turn.
I got 11 hit points back.
Nice. Top of the round is Lucrezia.
I'm gonna use the torch and try to hit the swarm.
Okay. Go ahead. Make your attack roll, please. Without
That's a
proficiency?
12. Flat.
Flat 12.
Yeah.
That does hit.
Okay. And then what's the damage for that?
It's going to be 1d4 plus 1 fire damage.
4 total.
Okay. Let's see if it has any weaknesses to Fuego. Does not.
Was that an attack?
It was an attack. Yeah,
Okay.
you can attack again.
Okay.
You have extra attack. So.
So did that do more or less than when I was shooting it?
Well, so it has damage resistance, so it does not. The bludgeoning is halved to 2, but then the fire, it doesn't have any resistance to, so it takes full.
So that seemed like it did a little bit more.
So 3 damage total. Okay, make another attack.
16.
16 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
4 again.
4, so 3 damage total,
Yes.
and that is actually enough to kill it.
Yay! We got a swarm out of the way.
You did. All right. So as you just start battening it in there, you see like the flames coming off. They're burning up and trying to scatter away.
One of them's like,
Can I punch the bee?
Yeah, you have a bonus action still. Go ahead and punch a bee.
Oh, 16.
16 hits. Go and roll damage.
bee, that bee.
So it's a D6 now.
Oh my god.
4 plus 5. 9.
Okay, so you bat the swarm. You scatter it away with the torch, and then you just take that opportunity as Tam sweeps into it and kind of cuts it, and it kind of like turns towards him, raising its stinger. You just kind of like just reach out and just sucker punch the shit out of the side of it, and you see it kind of and fall to the ground.
What? I punched a bee to death?
Well, he'd been sweeping into it. Yeah, it was all cut to pieces.
I punched a bee.
All right, so that is the end of your turn. It is the swarm's turn, and it is still on you, sir. It is going to 12 plus 3,
Wow.
15.
Does not.
Does not hit. Just swarms around you, kind of like binking off the armor and landing on you. That is the end of its turn. Though these two moths are going to begin to drag this
Oh
together.
no! It's
Away.
been a while since it's so happy.
Yeah.
It's also still connected to the car.
Yeah, they're trying to pull on it, trying to like get it and like pick it up. It's not going anywhere. They probably won't realize that for another turn.
The bees?
Yeah, because I forgot. So, the two are you still, sir? Ooh, yeah, they both hit. 22 and a 19. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Need you to make 2 Constitution saving throws.
I get to go before the wasps because you're on the swarm, right?
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Yes. Go ahead.
So I will hop down and intersperse myself between, because this guy was actually, there's like one space between these guys.
Okay.
So I will go there.
I mean, does it matter? Because they're focused on the thing.
You're gonna go here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will attack this wasp
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack rolls.
with constrict.
Okay. Go ahead.
Fuck you, wasp.
Natural uno.
Yeah.
So Negasito, you jump over and you kind of like duck between them, and then you swing it out and you just see it kind of like lash out. It flies away and it kind of like the bluish tentacle curls around nothing, and then it lands back on top of the thing. Anything else?
That's all I can do.
Okay, so the two of them are still going to attack you.
Well, the hope having been
First one was a 9, second one was a 22.
72.
22 hits. Constitution saving throw, please. 5 points of piercing damage.
You didn't roll on those.
Well, it comes out at +7. Whatever the fuck 18 + 7 is.
Okay, so
25.
solid hits. 3 points, 4 points. What did I say?
You said
God damn it. 3 plus something. 3 plus 2, 5 points of piercing damage?
yeah.
That's what it is. And then poison. I didn't want that anyway.
I don't know where it went. I didn't see it.
2. That is a 2 plus.
2 damage.
2 plus a 1.
Dope.
Yes, please. Can you grab that?
Yeah.
Hold on. I just need to do one more roll.
It
and then
wasn't
happen.
2.
Yeah, since. Wow, that's really shitty. 2 points of poison damage. That's been halved. It was 4 initially. You take 2 points of poison damage.
That's good.
That's it, yeah. That's those two. The other two are pulling the cart away.
Quote unquote.
There's no other ones. So that is the end of their turn. It is now Tam's turn. There's still one swarm left.
You want to go both attacks at this one?
Okay, go ahead.
First one is a 10.
10 misses.
Short sword attack is going to be a 20.
20 hits. Natural.
No.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
no.
No.
Okay.
Just. That's going to be a 7.
7 points of damage.
Then I'm going action surge.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm going to do another 2 at it.
Okay.
Okay, that's 19.
19 hits.
That's
11 points of damage.
This one, and then short sword is going to be 18 to
Yep.
attack. And then that's going to be another 5.
Yep. So as you you swing into it, 2 solid swings, and then all of a sudden you see it kind of and reform, and you're like, no, and you just go back into dicing it up, and then it spreads out and then like dissipates.
Like,
And I'm going to use my movement
Okay.
to coast around.
You want to try to like long way?
Yeah.
Okay.
may I
I got 30
reaction
movement.
devour that swarm?
30, 25.
30.
30. Okay. All right. You're gonna use your reaction to devour. Okay. Make a Constitution or is it Charisma check?
I believe it was Constitution.
Should say on there.
It is.
Can't help you.
It's not saying.
Hmm.
It does not say.
Should be Constitution, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Constitution, but it is not stated.
Okay. What'd you roll?
Not enough for anything good. Anyway,
8. If you remember, you have to roll over the challenge rating of the monster.
8. Yes.
So you succeeded.
Yay!
Okay. Now I need to roll. Let's see here. Do you have a coin over there? You gonna flip a coin?
Usually.
You got a D2 over there,
I
right?
have a coin, yes. I use it for decisions.
Okay. So I need you to flip a coin and call it, please.
Heads.
Okay.
Heads.
Heads.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Got it.
Yeah.
You're gonna get an ability called Bites. It deals 4d4 piercing damage if you are above half health, and it only deals 2d4 piercing damage if you are below half health.
That shouldn't really.
Yeah. So here, for do you want a card for it, or are you just gonna write it down?
I'm ready now.
Okay.
And I'll get a card later.
Excellent. So that is the end of your turn. As the swarm dies, you see it kind of like fall to pieces. There's this brief, almost like, and this is the first time you've experienced it, almost like a draw, this pull up, like a reverse concussive force that just kind of like, and everything gets dark for like half a second, just a, and then you just see it kind of fall to the ground. Even like the, your hair kind of back for a second, and you're just like, and that's it.
Yum yum.
There
Okay.
might be something else around here.
Get really weak.
Yeah, there might be.
Yeah, there might be. So that is the end of your turn. It is Lucrezia's turn.
Okay. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Does a healer's kit work on an axe peak?
Yeah, it would work on anything.
Yeah, you just bandage up this one wing.
Rub aloe vera instead.
Okay.
Band-aid. Just like put it on there.
Alright, well instead I will move to here.
Okay, so you run out to here.
Okay.
Get a good positioning. You leap off the cart
Oh, that's right. we were-
in dramatic fashion.
course.
And then
You know what? I can
Well,
actually
it's not
move.
running anymore.
I'll move up to it, and I'll get the hammer. How do I put the torch in?
just drop it.
I'll drop it. Oh, I don't want things to catch on fire.
Whatever, you drop it.
I drop it. Oh no, I know. Okay.
If I could set the world on fire,
well,
everybody
yeah.
dies instantaneously.
I'm okay with this.
Fine. It's gonna take, even if it was gonna set something on fire, it'd take a
We're
while.
already in hell. Might as well
Alright.
set it.
I want to clock the first bee with my hammer.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
12 plus 5.
Hits.
And then I'm hitting hit again.
Okay,
15 plus 5.
both hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
If you're just tuning in, our monk just set the world on fire by dropping her torch.
13 for the first one.
In a forest.
13 damage for the first one.
Well,
Okay,
correct.
smashes it into oblivion. Next one.
Um,
Swing at the next one, I'm
so
assuming.
I'm starting a new campaign.
There's also wasps everywhere, so this is
Okay.
So 9 for the second
I'm
one.
okay with this.
9 to the second one.
Bold move cut.
And
Let's see if it plays
I'll
out.
punch this.
Okay, go ahead and make your
plus 5.
Hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
8.
8. So you jump off the cart, drop your torch, take a little left there, or sorry, take a right, wheel around to the back of the axe beak, and with a solid swing of your mighty hammer, you smash the first one into oblivion. It just explodes into a mess of nonsense. And then you take the secondary hit and you knock the other one off the axe beak and then jump up and just Superman punch it out of the air. It just gets smashed into the ground, just like a football. Just like
I should
Gang.
that right here.
that is the end of your turn. So it is sorry, swarms are dead, so they don't get to go. It is now Maw's turn.
Yay! I'll turn on that swarm behind me.
There's no swarms left.
Or not swarm.
He knows.
The giant bee
Okay.
wasp. I guess it's more appropriate. And I will short swing.
Okay.
For
Well, if they were bees, every time they stung us, they just died.
Also, it's the top of the round, so you do get your reaction back.
19 plus 6.
Hits. Roll damage.
5.
5 points of damage to the first wasp.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And punching as well for a natural 20.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
Nice.
2 times 2 is 4.
So what's that total? 5 plus
9.
9.
9.
Okay.
Easy.
Oh, okay, 9. Okay.
Back to Superman punch 2.
So you swing and kind of like catch a bit of it, and it kind of like takes it off kilter, and then you take that opportunity and just you punch it as hard as you can, and you watch it strike solid, and then bounce off the back of the cart, and just and then it like keeps itself up barely. It's just trying to like hover in the air. That is the end of your turn. It is the wasp's turn. They're both gonna go. One's gonna be to you, sir, and the other one's gonna be to you, sir. First one to you is a 17. The second one to you, sir, is 16.
That hits.
Okay. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw at advantage because you have poison.
21.
Okay, 5 points of piercing damage to you, and then the poison is going to be half, so it's going to be halved and halved. So
Double.
hold on.
Double
3,
half.
6,
1 inch down.
11 halved is 5. Halved again is 2 points of poison
What
damage.
was the piercing?
5 total.
Okay.
That is the end of their turn. It is now your turn, Mr. Tam, to get your revenge. The one that he hits is looking relatively fucked up, and the other one looks in perfect health.
Perfect wasp.
Okay. I'm going to,
A true hell creature.
yeah, the one that's messed up, I'm going to swing with Marvillius.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
That was
Yeah, we should have made those taller.
We didn't make
It's,
them all. Bought them.
22.
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
They're just boxes of Michael's or
That is an 8.
8 hits. Or, I'm sorry, 8 kills it.
And then the other one I'm going to swing with my short sword
Okay.
for a total of 7.
7 to hit.
Yep.
Misses, okay. So the first one you just cut clean in half. There's a moment where you're like, oh. And the anime, ugh, and then like separates.
I'd like to devour that as well.
Okay, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. It's pretty
Or I'm sorry,
easy.
Constitution check.
11, 15.
15. Okay, that's good. Now let me double check its abilities before I tell you if you just get one or potentially get different ones.
You're just going to stick your butt at people and poison them.
Yeah.
You can use that with stench too.
The thing is, I'll wave my hands at them, and then the butt will appear.
Little butt.
You still farm. Just like, like no stinger.
I've been hit by a buoy.
Got me bones.
See if it has any other abilities that you can glean from it before I give you its sting.
You get hive mind.
Hold on, guys. Oh, my little bee costume.
Turn around.
Nope. Alright. So yeah, you gain sting. It deals 1d6 piercing damage, and then if the target fails a Constitution saving throw, it takes 3d6 poison damage. If the poison damage reduces the target to 0 hit points, the target is stable but poisoned for 1 hour.
What's that?
Even after regaining hit points, it is considered paralyzed until the hour is up.
Oh no, we gotta let the axe beak rest.
Though I feel like that's going to be a misnomer, right? Because you're going to like, oh, I use Sting, and then it kills the monster, and you're like, cool, and it's
Yeah.
just stable.
We're like, we did it. We
It just
walk away.
automatically stabilizes them, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of it, right? We'll just leave this trail of not dead monsters.
Top of the round, it's Lucrezia's
It's
turn.
me. Okay.
It's me, Lucrezia.
That's me. Okay. Well, I will scoot around to this and go into
Okay.
I'm going to hit the one that looks a little bit better by Tam.
Okay.
Wait, is one of them gone?
Yeah, there's only one there.
Okay, then that
It's the one that's fine.
one. 16.
16 hits. Go and roll damage.
Well, okay.
You gonna make both attacks? One attack?
I was gonna
70.
do both, but.
Go ahead. It's at full health, so you can do as many as you feel is necessary.
Ooh, that one. 11.
No, misses.
So
First one.
7.
7 total.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, still up.
And then I'm gonna punch it. Ooh. 10.
10 for the second hit?
Yeah.
So the first one you smack it you smack it out of the air, and then you just shit stomp it when it's on the ground.
It's still up.
No, it does. It explodes.
Oh, it
in your-
died?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It's all over your boot.
it's all over your booties right now. So the axe beak. Can I have you make a death saving throw for the axe beak, please?
Can I go use the healer's kit on the axe beak?
Yes,
That
you
is
can.
a 16.
16 is a success.
Okay.
You can use you can expend a use of the healer's kit to stabilize it at 0, and then after an hour it will regain
Okay.
1 health.
So I did.
Right? Or is it 4 hours again?
1d4.
Oh, 1d4.
I think I'm pretty sure.
So after 4 hours it'll gain 1d4 health. You can double check for that. So, however, as you're all sitting there and like, oh my god, you just hear
No. Wait, is that the what? Is that the?
as they're still right underneath the wasp's nest.
Okay. Tam, I'm gonna illustrate.
Where's that torch?
Do you think it's on the ground?
It's on the ground, it's still there. Still
Should
lit.
we put the axe beak in the cart and then just push the fucking cart out of the way?
Yeah. I kind of want to do something stupid.
Do it. Because I have an idea of what you're doing. I think it's a great idea.
I want to go up to the tree. Does it sound like it's hollow? Like it's in.
No, it's still good. It's been, the nest has been built around. It makes up like the whole top pat. Looks like kind of like a lollipop at this point, because they're so fucking big that they take up so much room.
Are there any smaller holes that I could stuff the torch in and wedge it?
If you would have to climb up
Yeah.
to do that.
But can I see one from the ground?
Make a perception check.
Now regains 1 hit point every 1d4 hours. That's what.
That is a 20.
20. You do notice there's a number of places where there would be an area big enough to just naturally occurring separations that you could throw it in there if you want to get closer to it. But they seem to be coming out and getting ready to make a secondary assault on you guys.
Get up.
Oh, that's the. Oh yeah, we're moving the axe beak.
We're
I'm
gonna
not
do
very
it.
strong.
I just need your help.
Okay.
We'll put the axe beak in the cart.
Okay, so you've taken off the straps as fast as possible. Together, go ahead and make an athletics check at advantage, whoever wants to do it.
Yes. Numbers.
16.
16, yeah. Together, you guys kind of like pick up its body. It's a little bit heavier because it's kind of like, it's, actually, I'm sorry. You didn't need to use your thing because the poison, it is stable. It would have been poisoned and it would have been stable. Yeah, you can take it out. So you notice that as you like were messing with it, it seems fine. It's just kind of like paralyzed from the poisons. And you guys move it up and you throw it in the cart, and then you guys get wheeling it.
I will double to the front of the cart.
Do you
and
have
just
one
start.
of those smoke things?
Yeah.
Smoke bomb.
Oh. Wait.
Wait until they come out and just.
That's what I was gonna do. Yay. Okay.
Because if they're like bees, I think bees get confused whenever smoke's around.
Okay.
Let's hope so.
Let me know when to do it. I'm gonna take it off the thing.
And I'm going to start pulling the cart.
Okay, so you begin pulling cart. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
By pushing from behind.
Okay, at advantage. Go ahead and
Are
make an
they
athletics
just
check.
watching?
Yeah, they're just chilling.
Good boys.
Which,
No one's on the
They seem
what am I adding to?
athletics.
Athletics.
They seem to be uncomfortable with the presence of like large wasps.
21. Everybody's fucking uncomfortable. 21.
21. Yeah, you guys begin pushing and just like heaving it out of the way. You see them begin crawling out one at a time and like looking around and trying to like survey their little fucking
Is there a
freezes.
hole?
Huh?
Is there like a noticeable hole in the wasp nest?
There's a lot of holes.
Not just one where they come out.
There's a bunch of like there's one main one, but there's like other ones where it's like patchwork. But for you guys, it would be like the size of your hand.
Should we shove the bomb in there?
Well,
It's
up
way
in
up
the
there.
air.
It's like we're talking
Like
like
a
20,
baseball
30
pitcher.
feet up.
If I took, how long do you think it would take me to climb the tree?
Not very long, but they're coming out to attack you
Okay.
in groups.
Okay.
So climbing the tree is an option.
But it would take too long.
No, they're just going to attack you while you're climbing the tree.
Yeah. Like,
And the
you
closer you get, the more of them that come out.
Alright.
If you feel like doing that, let me know now so I can start rolling how many come out per round for you.
I don't think I'm going to do that right now.
So you guys continue to push it out of the way and move it out of the way to get away from it. And I will say together with you two pushing, you guys at 21, you're just pulling. You're just jogging, just running. You guys managed to pull it out.
Stop making so much sound!
No,
And,
I killed a donkey for this.
What?
You begin pushing it out and getting it out of the way.
I'd like to roll for yelling in Slavic.
In Slavic? Hey, let's do it!
The
Get it
Hercules
now!
contest, they're all like these giant Slavic dudes. I
But what D&D language is that?
don't think we have a translation.
So you guys push it out of the way enough, trying to get out of there, and you manage to escape.
Oh, we're not doing the thing? We're not doing the smoke bomb?
I was just saying if.
If, okay.
Yeah.
I will put it back in the inventory.
If they come after you, is what you're saying. They did not seem to chase.
Damn it!
You continue to push and get out of the way. But now it's getting quite dark as you try to put distance between you and the nest itself.
And I'm also bleeding.
Yes, you're bleeding out. For a prolonged period, I will need you to make a Constitution saving throw
Yeah.
if you're to avoid exhaustion.
Yeah. Constitution save.
Maybe we should just
25.
25. Yeah,
Essentially
you
the new horse if I get lamed.
as you get to a point where you feel comfortable, you
Yeah.
unbridle yourself and kind of.
Takes
Hold on.
Why did I have this?
Mechanically, I want to go until about my next contract, and I'll stop short of that.
Okay.
But I would like to put as much
Considerable.
distance as I am physically able to,
Okay.
because I can see in the dark pretty well.
I would like to reach in my pack and put like a cookie or whatever for my rations in my hand. Flat hand. Hey, no teeth. Alright, good job.
You two aren't married.
Yes!
Just blood everywhere.
Oh, my blood's so loud
Alright.
now! All of a
Alright.
sudden, I'm gonna wipe my hand on my pants.
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. So what are you guys doing? Eventually the Axebeak regains consciousness, and it seems confused because it's been stable and just kind of like viewing. It's like
That would be horrifying. It just runs into the forest.
no, it's just like kind of like freaked out a bit and
Oh
just
yeah, it's freaked out. It's
I
usually
gotta
early,
put
now
some
it's like-
food on the actual cart.
just kind of like lays there and like
Aww.
eats. It keeps its like you notice though that it's got like this
Ugh.
paranoid thing to it. It's like looking
And the
around, but
griffins
it
are cool
eats.
right now.
The griffins have been kind of like just messing about in the back, not really paying attention to what's going on, especially recently. They've had to jog a couple times to keep up because they're just kind of like lackadaisically following.
Is it jogging or like they prance?
It's a prance, yeah. But you put some distance on it and you guys wind down. Is there anything specific you'd like to do over the course of the next so I can have some?
Gasp.
Is it that time? You want to take a break? Huh?
Lay on the ground gasping.
Okay. With that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go down and use the restroom, grab some drinks and everything like that. So thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you guys are having fun, and we will be right back. Okay, I'm going to disappear off camera.
That was so quick.
Well, we're going to take our quick break, and then we'll come back up and continue the travel.
May I have 2 cards, please, when you return?
Tyrannosaur story. Oh goodness. So, having successfully defeated a swarm of giant wasps, the most evil of creatures in all the universe.
Two questions.
Go ahead.
Fairly sure I know the answer to this. Both of these spells are 5 feet range.
Correct.
And what kind of damage does bites do?
Piercing.
Piercing. Got it. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. So you, what would you guys like to do for the remainder of the evening?
So I'm going to tend to Rupert. Make sure that he's doing okay.
Okay.
Do you want to
And,
go forward?
I already forged
You did?
his food.
Oh, that's right. We didn't get that.
Here, and I just empty my backpack, which is just filled with nuts, fruit, mushrooms.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Oh, we didn't get that far. All right, so I won't forward that. Can I look for lizard people now?
Sure.
Okay.
Make a survival check, please.
20. Not
20.
12.
Looking around through the brush here, you don't see any signs of their distinctive footprint or anything like that.
Okay.
But I would say with a 20, you do see some interesting tracks from all over. Just wildlife, and then you almost trip into one that's like a foot that's like the size of you. It's not that. No, it's like overgrown and old. It's not.
Is
not
there
new.
It was the one Ross that went through the area.
Right, like
what are the freshest looking prints? What do those look like?
there's none that are fresh
Oh, it's
enough to
all-
follow.
Okay. So does that mean that like animals haven't been through here for a while?
No, it just means that nothing recent.
It's been through. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a day or so. The world's a big place.
Um.
That it
again,
is. Biggest place you ever live.
Yeah.
I would like to again like outside our camp, kind of like where there's some of that traffic. I want to set up some traps just in case.
Okay, you put out the 2 traps that you have. I got it. All right, fair enough. You, with that being said, you guys wind down, kind of set up camp, recoup, recover, rest up, patch yourselves up, and then I'm assuming sleep. Correct? You eat. The next morning follows relatively uneventfully. The kind of sores that you take from the day prior and your wasp bite kind of begin to set in, but the long journey kind of just reminds you that every bump in the road kind of reminds you of an ache or pain that you have taken in. And it doesn't take long into day 3 before you find yourself into the actual thickness that is the Orndor Forest. You've been here a couple times before, mostly in like middle and south region of the world, and there's like for at least Maw, there's a sudden remembrance that in the Orndor Forest lies that those flying lion people that attacked you in the very beginning.
Manticores.
You remember that one of the manticores had been reported to be dead. The other one, however, is still out and about, which kind of perks up the old senses, but a day's ride, chatting with companions and stuff. So whoever wants to make the rolls for foraging and shit like that,
We also
do so now.
You have the highest survival, right?
Yes.
Mine is 3. His is the highest.
Oh, okay.
So whoever wants to navigate and all that jazz.
I'll do foraging.
I'll do navigation.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check.
Can I want to notice threats?
Hmm?
I want to notice threats.
Okay, go ahead and make a. Or I'm sorry.
Don't.
That's outside.
Oh wow, that's a really loud noise. Whatever that is, probably somebody
Somebody's car.
being ridiculous. Gotta love it. Okay, it's your passive perception score, not your active one. So what is your
12.
passive? 12. Let's see what you get going on. Nothing strikes you as odd. Occasionally you see the abstract sort of deer grazing, but once you start making noise, once the cart begins making noise, you notice it flee.
Damn it.
Um,
Always know there's food in this area.
A couple times the griffins kind of like perk up and begin kind of like meandering over, like thinking about snatching it up.
Do
And
they?
when they get too far from the cart, they kind of like, oh, and then they begin falling on. They do rely on you solely for food, so.
Oh. I mean, I wouldn't let them go for it.
You can teach them to hunt instead of fly, and they'll hunt for themselves.
It's one of the skills with
You
Well,
gotta,
they're not that smart.
no, and you'd have to like level them up in order to
How do you level them up?
teach them how to fight, and then use them in combat, and then
Well, I have like the little.
level them up, which will allow them to learn more than one skill.
They can.
Anyway,
Can I
um,
ask quickly? Given this trekking trip, can I opt to change instead of teaching it to ride, teach it to forage for itself?
yeah, you can.
Alright, I'm going to do that.
Okay, cool, fair enough.
What do you do?
I'm teaching mine how to hunt for itself
Instead of fly.
instead of
In
riding.
general, or
instead
just
of
today?
riding. So I won't be able to ride mine,
Oh.
but it'll be able eventually.
Okay.
But I'll be able to let him eat for his own food.
I'm still working on that.
Okay, just mark the days down.
Oh shit! What?
Oh shit! What?
It's been 3 days.
been 3 days.
Oh no!
It's a 20-day thing.
What about the days before that when we were in town?
Yes, you went back daily. So how long was
What
it?
that
It'll be all right.
then? It'll be alright.
Just mark something down,
6
and we'll
days.
make 6 days. There you go.
6 days.
So, with that being said, day 3 is a quiet jaunt. What was your survival there, Ma? 8?
14.
14. 14, you managed to get enough food for yourself for that day, but not for the. Wait, you said 14, correct? Yeah, not enough for the whole group. You do manage to find some good food for yourself. But yeah. So you begin or continue your journey with an 8 on your survival check. You believe you're heading in the right direction. You absolutely do.
I bet I do.
Um,
Dumbass.
Horse is dead.
But you continue along. About a couple, probably by the next day, as you've rested and you continue your journey into day 4, you find yourself kind of following the mountains. You can see them off to the left-hand side of you as you continue in the forest to make your journey a little bit easier and not trek through mountains the whole time and everything that comes with that. But day 4 passes relatively uneventfully as well as you continue your journey. However, probably about before you set up camp, you do hear the faint noises of like a pig, which kind of perks the old attention. And you can hear this sort of like, and not near the trail, but nearby, or not near the path that you're taking, but nearby.
He hears that, you said?
Everyone can. It's
Oh.
not quiet.
I don't hunt that big.
You want some pork? I'm gonna take my light crossbow off.
Okay.
Pull the cart inside and I'll help. I'm gonna go get the pig. I'm gonna go hunt the pig.
Are you all going?
No, I'm gonna see what the card figured out.
Okay. Cool.
I want to keep an eye out for things.
So as you guys jump down and you kind of begin making off, I need you to make a survival check to follow the noise.
Right now, 13.
13. Passive stealth would be okay. You do hear it continue to move through, and it's not until you begin to get closer that you actually begin to feel it moving around.
So much pork.
And you hear this like sort of even for you hear this sort of like you can hear like the bending of trees as it kind of careens into one and begins like rubbing itself up against it, and it like you can hear the splintering of wood. And as you finally begin to kind of like quietly, I need, what is your passive stealth?
Mine is 14.
14?
One passive stealth
Yeah.
is 16.
16. Nothing seems to notice you. As you round and begin to kind of come towards a little bit of a clearing, you see on one edge this giant boar. Its back standing easily 8 feet tall. It's like maybe about 10 feet or so long. It's just like back is just rubbing. It's like smashing its back into a tree, kind of, and then rubbing its tusks up against it, and then it. And it just kind of stands there, shakes its massive body off.
On a stealth.
Okay.
Wait, you're rolling for us, right? For stealth?
No, you could. Go ahead.
20.
Natural 20. Okay.
No way, this is a good game for you.
26.
20s.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'm gonna sneak up on him,
Okay.
and as I get closer,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm within range, I'm going to hit it with Sting.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please. At advantage, because it does not know that you're there.
Okay, and in addition to that, Spellstalker would then activate, and so he will have disadvantage on the saving throw. And any spell that requires attack roll is considered a critical hit if the target is surprised.
Okay. So go ahead.
Jesus.
15 plus.
15 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
It's gonna do it.
So it's going to be 1d6 piercing times 2 for 10.
You roll the dice twice.
Alright. 5 and 4 is 9 piercing damage.
9. Okay.
5, 3, and 4 is.
All dice are doubled. You just roll.
Oh, I want to take that. Alright, so 12, 2, 14,
Okay.
19,
Okay.
and 23 poison damage.
So 23 poison and 9 piercing.
Yes.
Okay. 32 total. Okay. As you move up, you begin to kind of channel, and you can see that from behind you see him sneaking up, and then he gets low, and there's this glowing begin to like emanate from his arm up the right hand side. And as he gets closer, he puts his hand out like almost to touch it, and there's this moment where you just see like almost like this cone of just pure energy just erupt in the air and just stab into the back of it. It squeals with surprise and begins bucking all around as it takes an enormous amount of damage. Okay. So, you notice it begin to squeal and buck against the air, and then it wheels around its massive head, staring straight at Maw. I'm going to need you to make a. I need everyone to roll initiative.
It's not being right.
Fuck!
There.
You're not there now.
12.
Okay, 25 to 20.
I am 8.
15 to 20.
So you want just to get the embarrassment of the
12.
Okay,
I am keeping my ear out for threats.
okay. 12 and 8, got it. So, as soon as the shenaniganery starts, you wheel around. Hold on, I gotta write down how much damage it took.
A lot. Just put a lot next.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of damage.
I have 24 points of poison damage.
So you, as you kind of like, ha! It wheels its big angry head around and just begins kind of like squealing angrily at you. Yeah, and it immediately takes its turn, and it just brings its big head to one side and just swings it down with a loud whoosh.
What is that? What do you have a shield?
Did you jump up?
Yeah, that's like that.
It is a 19 to hit.
Oh god. Mom's gonna die in the woods. From this.
Oh wow, that's not. That is 8 points of slashing damage as its trunk just rakes across in front of you, almost like catches the shield and knocks it out of the way for a minute, and you just get cleaved a little bit there. It is going to use its movement to run 40 feet away from you, out. It just runs away. So it provokes an attack of opportunity, though. So go ahead.
15 plus 6,
15. Yep, that hits.
and that is 8 damage.
8 damage. All right. Oh god, math is hard. Okay, got it. Never mind. We're good. I just did it a different way. Make it easier. So it just sprints off as you lash out with your blade. It just sprints off into the woods away from you. What are you doing? Or I'm sorry. What are you doing?
I'm still just dunked on, standing there with a crossbow.
I'm a dash.
You're gonna take your action to dash and chase it. Okay. So you run 60.
Yes.
All right. Are you gonna run into it, past
I'm
it?
going to try to get in front of it.
How far in front of it?
Opportunity attack.
Because you can run 20 past it.
One.
So you're going to run it.
15 feet in front of it.
Okay. Sounds good. What are you doing? As you just see them sprint off into the woods away from you.
I'm gonna run 30.
Okay. And the kick. Go ahead. It's going to have concealment due to the thickness of the wood,
Okay.
which means you're not going to be at disadvantage. It's going to get +5 to armor class.
Yeah.
Or actually, it might be less than that. Let me double check.
Nice.
What was it?
It was a 9 plus 4, so 13.
13? Yeah, that's going to miss regardless. So you fire off, boom, it just, and you see it get kind of close, and then it kind of catches the side of a tree and just like kind of like splinters off away. You go 15 feet in front of it.
Yes.
On its turn, it is going to charge you. It is going to, it basically, as you run past it, it just wheels around, and as you run past it, it's going to take an attack of opportunity on you because it has a reaction as well.
Oh, no.
That's a natural one. So it tries to run into you. You just like laterally move with it, but it's gonna wheel around and then kind of like get back and take like a 5-foot loop and fucking just bull rush straight at you.
Fuck.
That is an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Okay, so it is going to. This is a charge attack, so I need you to make a strength saving throw.
So loud.
You're gonna be prone, buddy.
That is 19 points
Oh my
of slashing
God.
damage. As it begins running and you turn around, you're like, ha ha! And you just stand in front of it like stocky. You see it like slow down, wheel around, and then bull rush you, and you're like, oh shit.
Bad idea.
He was not joking around, and it slams straight into you, and as it hits you, it just flings you up over its back. You kind of like skitter off the back of its like large bristly hide and land prone on the ground behind it, probably about 5 feet, 6 feet. And you're just like as you're on the ground, and it just kind of like wheels around, and it continues walking probably about 20 feet, and then wheels around and just kind of like and begins kicking up its feet, looking like it's going to do it again here in a second. That is the end of its turn. You are up, sir.
Alright, it's 20 feet from me.
Yes.
I will move up,
So you're going to get up using half your movement.
Yep.
So you have 15 feet left.
move 15 feet towards it,
Okay.
and take the dodge action.
Smart.
Okay. So you kind of like just start walking towards it. It's just like
Yeah.
stamping its feet
Walking
angrily, and
towards
you
it.
draw the blade, and you just take the dodge action. Got it. All right. That is the end of your turn. It is you up next.
If I run up another 30 feet, how close do I get?
You're going to put like 15 away from you and it, probably.
Poor Kim's just
15
a
is
lot.
fine. he's like walking behind, just like reloading. Okay, and then just walking, and he sees like this. He just sees Maw get thrown up. He's like, "Oh my god!" And then he sees him get up, and he's like, "All right, whatever." Go ahead and make your attack roll. This is not going to be at any sort of disadvantage, though.
Nice.
Still one.
What is it?
It's even low. I got a 9 last time. I got a 6 this time.
Oh.
As you begin charging for it, you see this arrow go. And you're,
Oh, damn, yeah.
and you're like, "Damn, I gotta load this thing again." And you just begin loading.
I have
again.
short legs. This sucks.
I'm not even.
That is the end of your turn. It is now the monster's turn. It is going to attack you.
Oh, monsters are for
At disadvantage, that's a natural one, and that's a 5. So as it sees you stalking towards it angrily, it's just like, and it begins thrashing, and you're just artfully parrying and just trying to like stay out of its melee range. It is your turn.
I'm going to use regular bite because bites, plural, will not do maximum damage.
That is true.
16 plus 8.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
1 damage.
It needs to make a saving throw, correct?
Strength save.
That's its good one that it failed. Strength saving throw. It rolled an 8. So, how much damage?
1 damage.
1 damage.
Does anything happen now, though?
And it gets knocked off.
It gets knocked prone. As you see these, as you kind of like bring your hands out and around, you just see that blue light, and then you just see these 2 jaws just slam into the side of it and rip it to the ground, and the whole thing just unexpectedly just takes a tumble, and it's like, and it's like taking its little feet.
Strike it down now! Strike it down!
I'm gonna drop that, pull out the 2 swords, and say, "I have you now."
Aha! And you begin running in. All right, your attacks are an advantage because it is prone.
Nice.
Okay, that is
Gone hunting.
18.
That's
And
the,
eight.
First one.
18. Okay.
that should be the name of this episode. Gone hunting.
Gone hunting. Okay.
And a 22 for this.
Both hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
And I'm going to do a maneuvering attack so he could get away
Okay.
if he needs to. Oy, oy, oy.
I think distance is a good idea. So I will maneuver to the opposite side of it,
Kind of get on both ends.
flanking it.
Got it.
So 14 slashing
Okay.
and 4 piercing.
So you maneuver up and you just sink both weapons in, and as you do, you're kind of like you point, and Maw instinctively moves around to the other side, kind of keep giving it a wide berth. It's trying to like swing out and attack you, but you're still within melee, so it just can't seem to get up. And then as you do, you just sink both blades in it, and you hear it squeal out, and it's just like fighting against you. It seems to be losing strength, and that is the end of your turn. On its turn, it is going to get up, kick itself up. It's going to look at you. Try to headbutt you.
Oh my god. Are you?
18 plus
Are you
5.
still dodging
23.
or no? No, oh, because it's.
Four shot.
Oh, you,
Y attack.
yeah.
5 plus 5. 5 plus 3 is 8
Okay.
damage. 8 points of damage as it it like wheels back, and you're just like, haha, I have a bink, and you just like, you catch a snout to your face, not even the tusk, just the snout, so you get this wet slap, but it's just a headbutt.
Is the snout like the size of his face?
Yeah, it's a bit, you get a little snot on you on the side there.
It's in my mustache.
But it is just staring menacingly at you. All right, it's going to use its remaining movement, 40 feet, to run away from you guys. So I need both of you to make your attacks of opportunity.
Hold on, it stood up, right? So only it's 20.
Correct.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I thought you said 40. Fuck!
No, yeah, sorry.
9 to hit.
9 does not hit.
Ooh-wee. I got 22.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
More belly moves. That is an 8 damages.
8 points of damage. You notice, in true fashion, as it gets up, headbutts Tam, and then it tries to get away. It's limping, and then Tam just reaches out and home gangs it, basically, just catches it right in the ankle, and you see it just kind of like,
Did you kill it?
and the little menu pops up, says, "Do you want to go back to camp?" As it falls to the ground, dead, and you just begin carving it. What are you guys gonna do with it? I can tell you right now that neither of you can pick it up.
Okay, cutting it up right there.
So.
I got an idea.
Yes.
Here, take the sword.
Okay.
Start carving it. I'm gonna run back to Lou.
Okay.
Alright, I'll start carving.
And
So
hey,
I
I
can
got
check?
food for your bird.
With dexterity, please.
Your bird
Okay.
lion things.
Oh, okay.
So if you could bring them this way, it's too big to. I can't carry it.
16.
Okay.
16. Okay. Easy enough. Trying to remember your best at anatomy in general. You're trying to avoid all major components that would spoil out into the meat itself. And you begin. Head comes off easy. Legs come off easy. You just begin kind of like, oh no. It's intense though. It's bigger than you are. So there's just
Pulling the
gore.
skin off, just-
There's gore everywhere. Viscera. You start pulling out insides, and you're just getting like.
You know,
They're
it's like
huge.
When your blanket gets stuck underneath you and you try to pull and you just punch yourself
Oh,
in
no.
the face.
Oh yeah, that is what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll bring the cushions. I don't know if the other one's gonna listen, but I'll bring.
Yeah, they follow along. They're
Okay.
kind of a bro pair. They're hanging out
And I'll
together.
look at the axe was fun just before I leave.
You just hanging out.
I'm taking the axe beak.
Oh, you're
Okay,
with you?
bring him
Okay.
with you.
I'm not gonna leave our cart and the axe beak.
That'll be fine. Okay. We go.
You guys head over there and try to mess with
He's
it.
like covered in gore. Can I get there?
No, he's trying to stay away from it.
Get out.
Oh. I don't
Maybe
know.
a little bit on the boots, but that's about
Okay.
it. Nothing.
I just imagine you get into blood like black.
And-
But you just see a
Yeah.
huge mound of a pig.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay.
You missed out though.
I was looking for danger. I'm fine, Eddie.
Don't worry.
Infamous.
I thought it was going to be a pig.
I mean, it was.
I mean, it's like a couple pigs.
So you guys gonna gather up some meat from it. I'll say if for transport, like carrying with you, you can carry probably about
Bag holding?
colding.
Holding?
Yeah, but it's gonna spoil. It's raw
How long
meat
does it
in
take to spoil?
a couple days, 1 to 2 days. It's gonna start browning immediately
Yeah.
from the time it's
Why-
removed.
My intent, we will take it back to camp and start cooking it.
Yeah, cooked meat will last
Well,
longer.
should we let the griffins eat some now so we don't have to
We'll
worry?
let the griffins eat now.
Okay.
We'll take what cuts them out
Okay.
and take that back, try to cook it, and we'll just try to live off of this for a while.
Okay, so I will say you'll get enough for. I'm trying to think of what you can logically carry.
How sturdy is that hide?
The hide,
Yeah.
pretty sturdy. If you tanned it or if you cleaned it, it would be. It's going to be pretty resilient. It's going to be a nice leather that you could probably use for like armor or something.
Oh, if you want to get the hair off, you got to use a torch. Burn it off. Otherwise, it's like thick
Well,
wire.
maybe I can just like, because I'm thinking I need strong fabric for the bag of clothing. Maybe I could, like,
Yeah, that'd be. This would be a good material for that. I feel like.
Do you know how to tan leather though?
Well, I could take it to town and maybe have it tan when we get back.
Or like 20.
Yeah, it's gonna start rotting before we get back.
You're 4 days from town
Can we
presently.
wash
And the skin needs to be tanned, or else the skin's just gonna start going necrotic on you. Crisps.
it? What do I do?
You can try to clean it and
How long does tanning take though?
Days.
Yeah.
cleaning it would slow the process down, but it's not gonna completely remove it. If you dry it out completely over like a rack or over the cart, you might get a little bit more longevity out of it.
I will do that then.
So you're gonna have to clean it and then dry it thoroughly.
Okay.
That'll slow the process down.
Oh, you want this part of like where the stomach is? It's like
Whatever. What about the back?
I know you can do something with brains. An old guy, we had the good ones.
Eat your brains again, you know.
Yeah, you mash up the brains, put some river water in it. There was a chick in a wheelchair.
Leave alone.
This guy, man, he tends to
I don't know. I saw some really weird shit in these woods so far.
I wanna
Why is
see-
everything so big?
The mushrooms are big.
The mushrooms are big. The
I don't know
pieces
how
are big.
to. Who knows how to like carve this stuff? Because I don't really know how.
Well, I'm
He's
carving
been
it
he's
now.
been doing
Oh,
it.
you're doing it? Okay. Well, I didn't know if you were like carving off the skin and stuff.
I would say 24 pounds of meat for the griffins. It's 2 days worth of meat for the griffins,
Right.
and then probably about 3 days for each of you total.
I mean, we
Would be a
can
good amount.
forage for ourselves
Cool.
really well.
Do you want the skin? Who's skinning?
Yeah.
Okay. How big of a segment? The thing is about 8 feet tall and about 10 or so feet wide. That's longer than 10 feet wide. It's probably about like close to like 15 feet long. It's like a big thing.
Big.
Big mofo. But I'll say that you get probably about the size of like a king size blanket. Probably from the back where it's like thickest,
Well, I
the
need
back
multiple
shoulders.
Strong fabric, so that can be.
I think a king size blanket would be.
Yeah, you'd be able to kind of choose what you gotta fold it up,
Make a fuckload of bags out of that.
find a stream and clean it.
Okay.
All right, so with that, you guys take it back, begin cooking it. You feed the griffins, I'm assuming today with that,
Yep.
so you don't lose any of your own stores. So you have 1 more day's worth for them because they eat 6 pounds of meat per day.
I'm trying to like. I was keeping track of it, but I can't find
Lucrezia takes the skin and cleans it in a creek nearby.
it. Conveniently
A small little bit of runoff and begins kind of like cleaning off the insides.
Forward.
Okay.
Do I see any giant fish?
Yeah, what is this, like a nuclear like test plant?
See if everything here is. You have seen normal like deer just meandering. Just they usually scatter. It's usually when you see them running is when you notice them. No big deer.
Oh no, big deal. Okay.
But you guys wind down. You get some rest.
What are they putting in the hormones of these animals?
GMO, bro.
You get your meats. You cook up the 3 days worth, so that way you can eat them throughout the next couple days. Sleep. Wake up. You find yourself in it's getting slightly chillier the more north you travel, and considering the seasonal transition is beginning to kick in, the mornings usually are wrought with just a slight bit of frost, nothing too severe, but just enough to make you aware of its presence. You get that sort of like cool breath that you can see. You hear the occasional from the distance of the flying monkeys that inhabit this area.
You said we have 3 days worth of the meat for us now cooked each? Okay.
Yes. But the morning of the 5th day comes, pretty relaxed. You stretching up. You begin packing up your camp and knocking out your fire. You're checking the map that you have been drawing, kind of lackadaisically,
Help get us back.
to help get you guys back.
Provided that I have this home variance.
Yeah, right. I mean, it will be a way back. If we got here from that way, we can get back that way.
So you gather up your belongings, and on the tail end, what's everybody's passive perceptions?
Wow.
12, 13. You all kind of, as you're getting up, you hear a surprised monkey shriek in the distance. It's like, and then you just see monkeys and birds begin flying away.
Lou, I found your danger.
Okay. Should we hide the axe peak? Or like get in a cart or something?
Or should we hide?
It seems to be coming from like the northeasterly side. You're heading northwest, so it's coming off your flank.
So
And
it's
from the day
like-
before, it's probably in the area where you killed the giant boar.
You should ignore it
Giants.
and press on, unless it's one of those giant panther things that we're supposed to kill.
Yeah. Oh, the pug-nosed panther? Or the manicore? Well, the pug-nosed panther was down south. The manicore was in this area.
No, the manicore is down south. And the pug-nosed panther is down
Oh,
south.
I thought like we saw prints from the pug-nosed panther like near Galarin.
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
They
That's
travel in
why-
those areas.
Okay.
Here's the question. Do we want to press on quickly, try to avoid it, or do we want to investigate and see what it is?
Investigating.
God damn it.
Well, you're on the alert right this nice day.
No, I'm fine. I'm down. Part of me thinks it's a bad idea.
Why? More food.
So we're gonna go investigate. Tammy, you wanna go with?
We can just cook it. We don't have to attack whatever it is.
You guys could go out. I'll stay here.
Okay.
Attack.
Alright.
What was that?
There's a T-Rex.
Yeah. Was that a T-Rex sound?
I'm gonna stealth.
We do not fucking hear that.
That is exactly what you hear.
Nope.
That is
I don't
exactly
think
what
you
you hear.
I'm gonna stealth.
It gets
You're
so
gonna
loud
go?
that the trees begin kind of,
No, it's way too big.
and you begin heading northwest. You just see
Wait,
Tam just like
you, like, slowly
slap the
drop
reins and begin to little
Or-
tiny squeaks of the cart.
Or are you still going?
You begin heading towards the.
You stop.
Okay, make your
Oh,
stealth
no.
check, please.
Oh no! Don't do it! I stop. I don't think it's a good idea.
If you would like to stop me, I'm not gonna fight you on this. But I did roll 15 for stealth.
Okay, so you begin.
I can't see
You see,
it.
you see Ma kind of like put his shield away, he puts his sword away, he begins kind of like very cautiously
Oh,
moving
Lord.
forward. What are you doing? You just see Tam's like just keeping the cart at a steady pace, kind of slow because it's making some.
Oh fucking! I want to stealth with ball.
Okay, make a stealth check, please.
Oh no!
Being betrayed.
Yeah, because it just flew out of my hand before I could really roll it.
You guys ready, Van Owens?
Okay, hold on. That is a 17.
17. As you guys begin moving further into the woods, it's as you get closer, you.
I can't see you.
And then you hear these sort of like trees.
Oh, that's when I say dinosaur. It really is one.
And as you kind of get close to where the carcass was of the giant boar, you see this massive T-Rex, easily standing 15 or so meters tall, just crouched over this thing, just like snatching it up and ripping chunks out of the.
There's a building eating a smaller building.
And it is massive in size.
Go cook up. buddy.
Yeah. You brought some sleeping meat, right?
So, if I hit it with petrify and it fails twice, I will turn to stone. I have a pickaxe in the cart. We could just pick its fucking head off, and when it turns back to normal, it'll bleed.
What was your stealth check, by the way?
15.
Okay, what was yours down there?
17.
17.
17, got it.
Wait,
Okay.
what? Oh.
So as it's eating, snatching up food, you hear this, and its large head tilts upwards,
Oh my god!
face covered in viscera as its large eyes just seem to stare at you, and just watch.
Freeze.
That does not work.
Slowly.
That's Cam in the fucking car with the
with a conch shot.
I'm gonna tap. I think it sees us.
They do hunt as scavengers.
If it sees us, we should probably leave.
Its head tilts back down and begins eating,
Alright.
but it seems to be paying very close attention to you
we're gonna
as it begins snatching up food bits.
start moving backwards.
No.
We're
Okay?
gonna start moving backwards
Okay?
until we can't see it anymore.
Yeah, if we stop moving, no, we're fine. That's how it works.
That's what I thought.
Scientists estimate that the T-Rex can see up to 6 miles perfectly.
Excellent.
You're welcome. I'm just saying.
That is
So-
terrifying.
Yeah.
It would have been able to see in perfect detail up to 6 miles away.
We're talking 1080
Like
feet.
a fucking land shark. Okay, let's go.
But it watches you, and it just continues eating.
Continue walking backwards.
That would
Maintaining
be
eye
so
contact.
good for the bag of holding.
I know, right? We could feed our rivers for like 2 days.
You could have fed a T-Rex in there.
No.
The head? You couldn't even fit the head
I
in
want the
there.
head. I just want
The head wouldn't.
Some
You know,
hides?
listen,
some hide.
if it didn't eat 20 pounds of meat a day, we could tame it and ride it.
Good. That is a theoretical possibility.
I thought about it.
Like, you know how we got
Animal
pet
companion?
veterans?
Giant T-Rex.
Like, you know.
Wait, this is just a regular T-Rex. This is a giant T-Rex? A dire T-Rex!
Excellent.
Right?
I was
Yeah.
thinking-
Your leash is like a chain.
I was thinking of these pictures I saw on the internet. You guys might want to check it out too. It's fucking Wild West with dinosaurs. It's a bunch of like Wild West shit, but they've all got dinosaurs and shit.
Instead of horses? Yeah, I've seen shit like that. So you guys back up and you kind of begin to regroup with Tam as he's just like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah,
Start
we're
catching-
good. Yeah, but watch. Oh, we're gonna have like a Jurassic Park chase scene then. Looks like it's on a treadmill. Alright.
Go, Axby, go!
Chocobo.
You guys are gonna go to sleep and it's gonna be just, you're gonna see like the front of the carts
No,
missing, right? It's like,
go.
it's fucking Jurassic Park. Just drops it on
It's
top.
just a fucking leather.
Yeah, the leather straps all messed up.
Oh, no.
Somehow managed to snag it up without waking a single person up or making any noise. Yeah.
It just very
That's what-
neat.
do you have some
It's just
issues?
With that movie, yeah,
Yeah.
I do know.
Alright, let's go.
So you guys
Is that
continue.
normal for this area? I don't
They're
know.
very rare, but it is possible.
Is that like a percentage thing?
Huh?
Is that like a percentage chance of a TV?
There are T-Rexes throughout the mountains, yeah, in
Okay.
this area.
Alright,
It's just not usual to see them.
let's keep going.
Let's get back to the car.
We're back by now.
Oh yeah, you managed to regroup.
I'm not going super fast because I don't want to make noise.
Don't make too much noise.
Quiet ass.
But you continue to avoid trying to make too much noise, and you just kind of keep the voices are low. You want to share the information, but it's kind of just like, especially because every now and again you get this, and you're just like
Little butt pucker, like.
a little pinch there.
Our water skin, like, you can see water. Yeah. Yeah.
Drops it doesn't go the same way.
Alright, let's adventure on.
All right, so you continue on your journey. The rest of the day is surprisingly uneventful.
It had a high note.
It started out pretty good, and then it kind of peters out later on. But as you continue your journey, presumably heading the right direction, you see the mountains are coming closer and closer to view. You're slowly kind of like meeting your way. You know eventually you have to go into them, but you also know that due to, just standard hazards, it doesn't make sense to try to cross a mountain range the whole way. You might as well just go around to like the closest point. So far you've been managing to kind of like stay the course, and then you're gonna eventually kind of cross over at the point where you know it to be like sort of thin, or it's gonna be shorter, I guess you could say. But your day continues relatively unsurprising. Nice afternoon. The wind doesn't seem to really affect you here as it kind of like buffets over the mountain. And so you're not really getting any like cross breeze or anything like that. It's just a cool afternoon and mostly into the evening. The sun is bright and shiny, kind of filters through the densely populated trees before before your night winds down. So anything else you guys would like to do?
I am going to, as night's coming, you must get your lantern.
Are the Manticore still in this area? I'll ask you. It's like,
Yeah, it was south, way south here. You remember? You want to remember? Somebody else, different time. No, they're further to the south.
but that was the area, right? We were in the area that they were in?
We're way further. No, I don't think we gotta worry about them, of course.
They should worry about us.
Well, negative for the gas. Actually, Tam, if you want, you can keep that lantern. I actually don't need it. It's mostly for everybody else.
It's a good lantern.
I'm going to make some bad choices, so I will.
What is that?
Okay.
Oh! Stay safe! Scream if you need help.
Good point.
I'm going to take the staff bird calls
Mhm.
and go out to the woods.
And the lantern?
Yeah.
All right. What you doing? What's
I'm
the
just
plan?
going to put down the lantern and just start doing fucking owl hoots.
Okay.
Just periodically. Like,
And hanging out.
I wonder if we can use that to lure animals in.
What is it?
Like a Disney
I'm going to
princess.
do it until I'm down to about one
Lure
charges.
the animals in. Fucking kill
What's it?
them. They
Let me
sing.
get my notes here. See if there's any in the area.
It's a Disney.
Does Disney own your world at all?
No.
They own everything. They own me.
They own all things. As you do, you begin kind of like letting out some hoots. Silence.
Oh, Tam, you're doing a barn owl hoot. You need a northern grayback hoot.
Oh. A snow owl. Oh, wait, we're not going through mountains, right?
No, no.
Not yet. But nothing seems to.
We did not bring anything for cold.
Nothing seems to.
You did,
Approach.
maybe. But Celiana
Once
has
that's
stuff for
down to
cold.
one charge, I'm going to stick it on my backpack and then going to just go up to the trees and point the lantern
Mm-hmm.
and see if I could see any nests.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Was that
And
right?
what are you two? You two passive perceptions?
12.
12.
The same.
Okay.
That is a 7.
7. Looking around, no big nests strike you out as unique. You're not sure the animal demographic here, so you're unsure if they exist in this area, but continued testing will be warranted, you feel like. However, as you're kind of like crawling down, you can see from your high perch advantage, you can see what appear to be two like little glowing embers off closer towards like your caravan. Like you're not sure if it's a fire or something, but it seems to be. So you guys are heading northwest. It seems to be on this side, and it actually seems to be in a line from where you just came from, just on the other side of it.
Does it actually look like fire or is it?
It does look like fire,
Okay.
but there seem to be two sources of it. And then as you watch for a minute, it seems to be moving. They seem to be moving.
I'm going to slide down the tree pretty quick. Hopefully don't get caught in too much bark.
Just don't have those traps.
Just get like one of those like little nubbins, just like dink, ow!
I'll take the traps back and I'm gonna press out into the woods just to set them up somewhere.
I'm gonna,
As you start pressing into the woods, you hear what sounds to be like fire crackling, and you stop for a minute and you look, and from one side of the tree, two large, they look like bipedal salamanders that are currently on fire. The heat hits you as they round the corner, and they kind of like are looking at you.
Why is that so casual? Are those the fire ants?
And then one of them pulls out a scimitar,
Oh, come on!
and then he unleashes a shield from his back, and then the other one does the same thing. And
I want to shoot it.
all right, he's the only
Oh,
one.
it's not at camp?
He's-
It's at
no,
camp?
he's all-
Oh, you went away from me.
I'm hitting one with sting.
All right, so immediately, so go ahead and roll initiative. Just
Yeah.
you.
I thought you were still count.
Okay. Go ahead and get this. It's like an awkward swink. All right. What was your initiative, sir?
11.
11.
Gotta keep it the whole time, man.
Today's a bad day.
I've been all under 10.
All right, 11, and then you roll. Okay, so you're on that.
I want to take our hunting
So,
traps.
yeah. Enemy is.
They haven't worked so far.
I've got 2 traps. We're gonna have to drop.
Okay, so you go ahead and get your sting. Go ahead and make your attack roll. You are not. They are not surprised. They saw you first.
Yeah, they literally looked
That
at me.
is a 27.
27 to hit. Obviously
So
hits.
whichever one is right up on me.
Yeah, yeah. That hits.
4 piercing.
4 piercing. They need to make a Constitution saving throw unless they can't be poisoned. They can be.
I'm not there, but we need their blood.
That one fails. So what is the?
6, 9, and 12. 12 poison and 4 piercing.
16 total.
Yes.
Okay. As you just like, you just bring your hand up. Your hand starts glowing, and they immediately kind of like balk at you, and like this, almost like cackling fire. Just this sound of flame smoke begins to billow out from the sides of their mouth. And as it sticks right into the first one, who's kind of like surprised, he's like, and he just like kind of like flails away from it. His wet, slapping feet kind of like heat up the ground around him. And you just kind of like,
As I can
Hi-ya! And now it is going to be their turn. They both immediately they both take steps to their right to kind of distract you, and then they both charge in, scimitars at the ready. They are going to try their attacks for some reason.
hard miss.
I'm trapped, man. I don't want to use red.
Don't worry, you're gonna have another light running from the others. Hey, there's some lights coming.
I thought it was like the orc tribe or something in the distance.
That's what I was hoping too, honestly.
So the first one is a
I'm
11.
fucking looking for these bitches and
The
they just pop out of the woodwork.
second one is a 15.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. So they both take side to side, and then they both bring their weapons around. You just kind of like block with your traps, like ting ting. And that is the end of their turn. What are you doing?
Alright. One that I stung in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get him again with bites.
Okay, go ahead.
Literal bites or bean bites?
Bug bites.
Oh, that's good.
15 plus 8.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. That's 4. 2 is 6. 4 is 10.
Okay.
And 1 is 11.
Okay, 11 points of damage. As you bring around the blue energy, I'm assuming you've dropped both of the
Yeah.
the traps,
Yeah,
and then you bring both hands
yeah.
together, and as you do, you kind of raise them up for a minute, and just this blue swarm of energy and insects just kind of like formulates around it and begin to bite and claw at this thing. And as it does, you see like some of them get into its mouth, and it like, and as it does, it kind of like it seems to like, and it like falls forward and just slaps on the ground with like this wet sort of sound. The other one kind of looks surprised and then immediately just goes, "Oh no!" and just breathes out this just gout of flame right at you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Looks like you need a new one.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's a good. I think it's a good roll. I see 2 numbers.
15.
15. Okay, you take half damage. 9. You take 9 points of fire damage as it just goes boom, and just right in front of you, this gout of flame just erupts, and you take 9 points of fire damage. Oh shit! They have double attack. Whoops. Anyway,
Oh, that's
Yay!
that is the end of its turn as it just kind of like stares at you angrily, shield and sword in hands.
Well, the time for talking is past. I'm going to make a sting attempt.
Okay, you go ahead and make your attack roll, sir. Natural 1. As it comes out this time, he saw it hit his friend the first time. He instinctively brings his shield up, and as it bears down, it just right into the front of it. it is going to wheel around using that momentum, and it kind of like takes a low stance, and it's going to make its double attack against you.
Yay! I seem to have got something.
That is 14. That is a natural 20.
14 misses, natural 20.
It hits, doesn't it?
No shit.
4. You take 8 points of slashing damage. The first one swings, and you instinctively kind of like take a couple steps back, kind of like almost falling, and then you get you get grounded again. At which point it's still like lunging towards you and swings wide, just kind of like cuts against the front of your armor, just kind of like, but it hits pretty hard underneath. So take that. That is the end of its turn.
All right, short sword
Okay,
and punch buckler. So
Okay.
Short sword is 17 plus 6.
hits.
And punch buckler is 17 plus 4.
Okay, both hit.
That's going to be a 9 damage with the short sword and 2 damage with the buckler.
Okay, easy enough. Yeah, you take a quick counter and you draw your weapon and you just kind of like sink forward. It slides out of the way, and then the second one you sock with the side of the head with the punch buckler, and it gets rocked to one side, seemingly shaking it off, and then preparing itself for another round, another volley.
Let's do it.
So you killed one?
Yeah, you did kill him.
Sorry. I'm going to make sure it's dead.
That is a 13 and a 14. So both swing, and you just block with your fist and bing, bing. What is up next? Go ahead.
Right, sting.
What is up next?
Fuck. 13 to hit.
13 does not hit. Again, with the as you bring your hands together, it's now seeing that that's how you kind of cast your spells. At which point, as the sting comes in, it just instinctively blocks and wheels around and begins its assault again. That is 19, 20, 21
Hits.
and 19.
Also hits.
Okay.
Those doggy bottom boys.
5 points of slashing on the first one and 7 points of slashing on the second one. As the first one comes around, it kind of waits and it like feints. And you instinctively bring the buckler down to block, and it uses that opportunity to just buffet you with its shield and weapon. That's the end of its turn.
All right, sting again.
Okay.
All right, way better. 22.
22 hits.
Yay. That's going to be 4 piercing damage.
4 piercing damage. Okay, and it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yes, sir.
That is a 16.
16 is what it needs.
Okay, so it succeeds, so it takes half. What was the piercing first?
6.
6. Okay.
11 total.
11
So-
half to 5.
5 poison.
Okay, so as this time as it stings into it, you see it kind of like flex, and you can see its veins through it. Almost like this glowing, like whitish sort of color against its orange exterior, and it just kind of like hisses at you as it stabs in. It just kind of like, and it just like snarls, and then you see it kind of like,
Oh.
and then slump forward and kind of like die. And as you're standing there, you're like,
Die.
you just hear Tam in the distance going, "There's lights coming! There's lights coming!" Calling out Lucrezia. You're like, "What?"
Yeah, what?
Adventure.
I'm only gonna say this because I'm a nice guy. No consume.
Well, they're humanoids, aren't they?
We need blood.
Huh? They are, but I'm accounting for monsters
Oh.
because otherwise it's not really been getting anything.
And tails.
What was that? Go ahead.
Mostly it's because I'm an idiot. I keep forgetting. I would like to do it on the one that I killed.
Okay, go ahead and
What happened?
make your.
10, 9.
9. I need you to flip a coin, and I need you to
Oh, that's right. You can
call it.
Okay, okay.
Alright. This boy is
My voice.
Because it's a tan.
Alright. Heads.
tails. You gain amphibious, which I think you already have.
Yes.
So it does not.
Or no, I
take
don't have
effect.
amphibious, I have hold breath.
Okay, so you gain amphibious. You can breathe air and water.
Yay.
That's really cool.
If he would have called it, he would have got the spitting fire.
You
We
could
just
swim
need to
under-
fight a dragon, and then you could get.
You could
You can
fly
get
to
real
the-
fucking fire
What
breath.
fucking
Yeah.
things could you get for a
Fucking
T-Rex?
real fire.
No?
Nothing. Oh, he can get bite. He can upgrade his bite.
T-Rex powered bite.
Jesus.
Though that one would actually. So far, most of his rolls have been only needing to be like 1 or 2 because everything's pretty weak. But with a T-Rex, his roll would actually have to be good in order to actually get it. So, with that being said, you kind of stand there over the corpse of these 2 things. You notice that they have like this sort of blackened chainmail that's on their bodies, and then they have shields and scimitars that are made out of like this blackish, sort of dark iron-colored stuff.
I'm gonna grab a scimitar and a shield
You gonna grab them both? Okay.
and strip the one guy out of his armor.
Okay, so you begin to kind of. You notice, though, as you touch them, their skin is hot to the touch, and prolonged not right immediately, but prolonged touching them will burn you. Yeah, so you pull it off. I would say in the course of, you'd probably take like a fire damage from pulling the armor off, but just,
Are you back at the camp by now?
Yeah. By the time he's like stripping them off, you would have made it up to him and been like, oh. You just see these salamanders that are.
I
I
think.
thought lights from the tree.
I'm sorry, they're like newts.
So
Okay, I was gonna say. 'cause
They're not actual
we need different
salamanders.
things.
Yes, those are different things.
Yeah.
listen,
From different things.
I think this one's still alive. He's been glaring at me.
I'm gonna take my belly use off.
Does anybody speak?
I'm not here.
Does anybody speak this?
You interacted with them before.
I. Fine then.
Yeah, but.
I can speak to
Oh.
people and halflings.
Well, I tried to talk to it before in common and it didn't
Alright.
understand.
Kill it.
It wasn't reacting. It wasn't. Oh wait, yeah, that one was still alive because of the bite or sting.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, he was stabilized. Now dead.
We need his blood right here.
I'm not lying, but yes. We need the blood and the tails. But I think that blood.
Alright. So I rolled a 10 on a history check. I think we need something from this. Let's take the body back. Ooh, careful though, they're really fucking hot. You want some armor? Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna try to jerry rig something to drag it back so I don't burn my hands.
All right. You could probably just wrap parts of the straps from his armor around him and then drag that, using that to just drag him back
Alright,
to the camp.
I'll do that and drag it back to camp.
You notice that color that begins to fade as he cools down. His body begins to not become luminescent anymore.
So if you're like fire, is there blood on it like turn to stone or something?
Maybe I'll turn to like coal?
Flint coal.
Blink hole?
No.
You don't know. Maybe.
I grabbed the scimitar and the shield from the one. Thought maybe we could interrogate this guy, but once we get fit on that, maybe we won't.
Did he attack you?
I'm just gonna quietly
Drag him
He
back.
started it. He started getting his stuff out at you.
I mean, from what it sounds like, it was a bro down. So
I may have jumped the gun.
A regular bro down. All right. So with that being said, I think that's a good place to end it because we'll pull him back and it's going to be 10 o'clock. So thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. We will be back next Monday and Tuesday for Monster Hunter Monday and Tuesday for the main campaign, respectively. So I hope you guys have been enjoying. This video will be up on YouTube later on. And yeah, we will see you guys next time. There's no talk back today. I will divvy out EXP off camera and let you guys know of all the stuff. So, all right, guys, let me disappear and go ahead and turn this off. So, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you guys had fun. Remember to tell your friends if you enjoyed, or go ahead and follow or subscribe if that's something you're interested in. We do have a sub-only Discord that only subs get access to, and we are doing a D&D related giveaway at 200 followers or 10 subs, whichever comes first. So, see you guys later.
Woo! Let me disappear.
You get more than us.
I take such enthusiastic walks.